All getting absolute muscle there. At turn 1, that was an absolute disaster.
Oh, he spun!
Oh no! That's massive for Adam!
All over the rear bumper of Spin, mate. These guys are hitting each other like nothing we've ever seen before.
G pulls out to the outside. Here we go again.
AEST there, he's going to go for a move here. The 2 Ferraris in front of him.
G went wide. G's in
Oh!
trouble with Schumacher. Oh, good contact.
Oh, massive contact there.
This is going to be an incredible finish for these two.
The speed, the overspeed happening. They're going to go 3 wide into
Oh.
turn 1.
There's contact there from Tracy with Kung Fu on the way in. He tries to retrace and gets his way.
Shoved out wide. Oh, huge contact.
This is fantastic. On the outside though into turn 1.
As he shoves it down the inside anyway. What is this? Oh my gosh! What a move from GTR!
Hello everybody, welcome back to Sector 1. We are of course here for round 6 of the Sector 1 World Tour at Watkins Glen. We're here in the state of New York in the United States of America for this 11 corner track, and oh wow, it's just going to be a massive event here. So many storylines from the Interlagos Enduro that we saw last time out in Sector 1 for this Group A week. Let's have a look at our track map for tonight's race. It's round 6, Group A, 10-minute qualifying, followed by a 24-lap race for both our Division 3 and Division 1 drivers. 5.552 kilometers is this track. We are doing the boot tonight, not the short layout. So it is the full layout of Watkins Glen. And our track schedule for tonight, of course, kicking us off momentarily, is Division 3 with their 10-minute qualifying. 7:15 for Division 3, their 24-lap race, then Division 1 at 8:15 with their qualifying, and 8:30 for their 24-lap race as well. My name is Lenocis, and joining me in the commentary box is your Division 3 race director, Crazy Good Kung Fu. How are we doing tonight?
Hello, hello. Doing very well, thank you, Lenocis, and very much looking forward to this one. We've had our practice starts, the teams are all ready to go, and this is a great track. It's one of my favourites. As you said before, we are using the boot today, so we're going through the chute, into the boot, not straight down the straight, back to the pit lane, but it's going to be a fantastic race. We've got 42 metres of elevation here. Longest straight is about 660 metres, 15 turns, and 4 sectors to get ourselves through. We've got a bit of a southerly coming through at the moment, 2.3 metres per second. That's not going to affect them too much, but I'm pretty sure we're going to qualify very soon. Very much looking forward to this one, mate.
Yeah, so we've just given a rundown of the points, how the championships shaping up in Division 3 at the moment. Bumcrack leads the way in 158 points. Right behind him on his tail is Boy Begum, taking a awesome win at Interlagos in the 90-minute enduro there. Freelix was leading the championship a couple of weeks ago, but's had a poor run of performance and finds himself in P3. Budsy for Isa in P4, Carbonboy in P5 for Obsession, Stranger, the sole doghouse driver in this pack, in P6, Gur, the Dadson driver in P7, Scheisser in for Brocky 05 Sim Racing in P8, I should say, Daz in P9 for Deeds, Black Project 10th, for Blacklight, Rex in 11th for Red Mist, Killer on the Loose 12th for Lightning, Proa 13th for Obsession, and the newcomer Sizzling Sausage in last place with Black Rose, of course, after missing the first few rounds as he wasn't a Sector 1 driver yet. But that's how things shape up in the championship, and I don't think we should keep our drivers waiting any longer. I reckon we should jump straight into things. What do you think, CGK?
Yep, absolutely. It's like getting a nice, quick Bunnings sausage off the grill, and we're going to get started right away. So the guys are going to go out on track right now. But yeah, you're right in terms of the championship standings for Division 3. It's getting very, very close, especially with that result last time out at Interlagos. Double points for that one, of course. So Bumcrack's lead has been completely destroyed. He's only got a 2-point head start over Boy Begum now, who had a fantastic outing at Interlagos. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see where these guys end up on the grid. There's a few cars that are definitely better here at Watkins Glen, some that will perform a little bit better. It's a very high speed circuit, but it's also very high on tyre wear, so I suspect we're going to see a very interesting little race, because the qualifying is going to end up in one direction and then the race is going to go completely the other, so favouring the top speed, of course, on the high speed sections in qualifying, and then the race is going to kill a lot of tyres, I suspect, on a couple of cars in particular. I won't say which just yet.
Yeah, so looking at the moment, it looks like Bumcrack has picked up a 3-second penalty coming out of the pit lane. I don't think any other driver has done, so you have to be very careful coming out of that pit lane, as you will pick up a 3-second penalty on exit and entry. Very tough pit lane to navigate for these guys. But the first driver out on track tonight in qualifying is Daz for Deeds Racing in the BRZ. BRZ, a very, very strong car around here. Expect the BRZ to be wreaking havoc like they did in Willow Springs. So, I mean, the BRZ, it just loves those sweeping long corners. And Watkins Glen, that's something that this track does not have a lack of. Although, looking back, you have a driver such as Freelix, Killer on the Loose, and any more in tonight's pack. Yeah, Carbonboy in P11, Bumcrack P12 on track, and they're all in the Supra. Now the Supra, it's going to love that massive run from turn 2 all the way down to the bus stop chicane, which should be turn 4, but for some reason when they're naming these corners, they don't name it as turn 4 for some reason. It's just called the inner loop. Not too sure what's going on there, New Yorkians, but
they're just a bit uncreative, I think.
But the Supra is just going to absolutely beast that run from turn 2 that we see Daz is on now. That massive long back straight. It's flat out for a good kilometre there before you slam on the brakes. But yeah, it's going to be very tight, and I wouldn't ride off the BRZ to compete. Go toe-to-toe with the Supra. Oh, Daz! Huge moment! Manages to hold on to it through the bus stop. But just behind him, we see Daz, the stranger. He's in the Alfa Romeo, and that's a car around here which, I mean, we got to see what happens. It could go either way. The Alfa Romeo, it's not bad anywhere, but it's not exactly the best anywhere. So
yeah, it's very similar to the Porsche. It's averagely good at absolutely everything. It's got no real massive disadvantages or advantages, but if you drive it right and get a good lap hooked up, it can perform just as well as the others. Couple of little things from around the grid while we're on board with some others. We had Black Project, who managed to go out on the mediums initially. He went back into the pits. I did see the pit lane cut from Killer on the Loose. It was about 1 millimeter. And we also had Boy Begun with a 1.5 second penalty. Serving that, he's still got clean air though.
That's interesting to see. Thank you, CGK. As these guys are going to be coming up to the start-finish line to complete their first time laps. And what's it going to be for Daz? As he comes to the line of 45.1, Stranger goes 0.3 slower. Freelix comes behind, splits the two of them. Shizer into P4. Killer will cross the line next, a second off pole time. Boy Boybegum up into P3, strong lap from him. Gurr solidifies 6th position. Sizzling Sausage goes into 7th position. And I believe...
Budsy's just gone pole.
Oh, wow, great lap from Budsy there. A 10th as well. That's very confident from Budsy. 45 flat for him.
Yeah, solid stuff. Freelix has actually picked himself up a 0.5 second penalty, unfortunately, for his second lap out. But he's a 1/1000th of a second ahead of Boy Begum, or Boy Begum's 1/1000th of a second behind Freelix at the moment. So that battle between the McLaren and the Supra is very, very close. Freelix is going to be hurting with that penalty. 4.5 minutes through, so 5.5 minutes to go for these guys out on track. Looking good so far.
Yeah, absolutely. As Budsy, shock lap time. That's just a mega lap from Budsy for a first flyer. and we'll see if he can hold it. We're approaching the halfway mark of this session. Now begs the question, who comes into the pits or who goes around again? I think that's going to be the big thing here. Oh, as our Boybegum, we just saw slightly there, he's gone purple. So we just got to ride on board with Boybegum as he approaches the end of the boot here. Shoots up towards the final sector now.
There's a few cars out on track that are using a lot more tyres than the others. I will just make a note. I won't say who. But I think we might see a couple coming into the pits.
So Boybegum is not purple as he approaches the final sector. But let's see what he can pull out of the bag as he comes through the final corner now. Long cambered sweeper. Barrels down towards the finish line. He's going to have that slipstream from Killer the entire way down. Oh, goes very nearly 8 thousandths off Daz. 1.5 tenths off as everybody peels into the pits except for Boybegum. Yeah, Boybegum, Bumcrack, and what looks like...
Got the alpha of the Stranger.
Ah, yes, of course. In 6th position there. So these guys have all set another lap. Stranger unable to improve his lap time, unfortunately. It was about a 10th off. However, I would imagine he'd come into the pits and have one more go at it.
Oh, we've got a bit of traffic here for Boybegum. That's not going to be helping him out. He's got Killer on the loose in front of him at the moment, who's in P12. Boybegum obviously looking to get up onto the top 3 spots, hopefully onto the front row for himself in that McLaren. He's done a wonderful job this season. Can he continue his run of good qualifying efforts? He was a qualified pole last time out at Interlagos for our endurance race, but he's really being held up right now.
I believe he would want to be coming into the pit lane on this lap or the lap after. Especially with this traffic in front. Yeah, he's 3 tenths down. So don't think a representative lap time will be set this lap. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him into the pit lane.
Absolutely, and Black Project at the moment picked up a 0.5 second penalty down in P6. So that's not going to help him. He's, I don't think he's come into the pits so far. The Ferrari looking pretty good on its tyres. And looks like we've got a 3-second penalty for sizzling sausage in the GTR. That is not going to help his campaign tonight.
Oh, huge moment
Whoa,
from Black
that was
Project.
big.
Oh, manages to hold on to it though. But I believe he started the qualifying session on the mediums and then pit off those and just set a lap time then of a 45.4, which was good enough for P6 at this stage.
That's right. Actually, there's a bit of chaos caused by those 2 serving penalties. Black Project with the 0.5, sizzling sausage was a 3-second penalty. And Budsy had to navigate his way through, and he's done so successfully. He's currently down, I think, on this lap at the moment, mainly due to that traffic. And Bumcrack has taken P1 with a 44.664. That is a cracking lap time, 0.36 clear of Budsy.
Yeah, absolutely rapid from Bumcrack there. He finds himself 3.5 tenths above the rest of the field. Oh, absolutely massive lap for the championship leader.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy with that. He needs to have a really good performance here tonight if he's going to extend that championship lead. It was diminished significantly in the previous round where we had double points, and now he's only sitting 2 points away from Boybegum, and Boybegum's looking quick. He's 8 1,000ths of a second now behind Daz, and I think he's on a pretty good lap at the moment.
As we're riding on board with Boybegum at the moment, as he heads down towards turn 5, as it's officially known. Can't quite get the car turned in as much as he would have liked, and it doesn't quite use as much exit curve. Oh, well, he is on an outlap, so that would explain it.
Oh, that does explain a couple of things, doesn't it, Lenocis? Yes. But yeah, it was a bit of an interesting slide through the chute. It's one way to heat up your tyres, so those tyres will be nice and toasty by the time he comes around for his flyer.
Absolutely. A little bit of a shock at the moment is Freelix down in P5. 7.5 tenths off the leader, Bumcrack. They're in equal machinery as well, so you'd expect Freelix to be moving his way up the pack towards the latter stages of this qualifying session. Everyone here is going to get one more lap, and that should be it for the session done. As Carbonboy improves to P5, good lap from the Obsession driver. And who else is on a lap currently? I believe Daz will be the next. No, Shiza improves to out of the top 8. Daz crosses the line, doesn't improve. They're all going to get one more shot here.
Yeah, so interestingly here at the moment, the top 10 cars are separated by just over a second. There's incredibly close field here in Div 3 at the moment, so great stuff from all the drivers to put in some very, very good times. And they're all obviously having a really good time here at Watkins Glen. It's a brilliant track for these GT3 cars. I love this.
As we're riding on board Boybegum for the second time, he is blue. He set up blue sector, first sector I should say, in his McLaren as he rounds turn 4 now. Gets the car turned in, lot of steering lock to try and get the car turned in the way he wants it. Using as much of the exit curb as he can.
P10 Killer on the loose has just gone for a spin up the boot. He's right in the way of everyone. He's on the grass at the moment. Through goes Bumcrack. Yeah, he's just going to have to sit there for now.
Yeah, a lot of traffic incoming as Boybegum heads through, goes past the stricken Lightning Motorsports car. He is still blue as he comes to the braking zone of the boot. Nails the exit using as much curb as you can without getting a penalty as he comes back onto the main course. On the power, using all of the available road, 3.5 tenths up. What can he pull in the last sector? Just lifts off slightly, gets the car turned in. Beautiful stuff from Boybegum. Can he go pole? Gets the car turned in for the final corner. Just one more acceleration zone. And what's this going to be? Can he take it? Oh, P2 for Boybegum.
It's close though. Shizer just went to P3 and then got immediately shoved out. Daz gone P3. And Budsy's taken away from him. He's gone P3. That's a great lap. As
we're looking down, there's a couple more cars on a lap. It's Black Project and who is sitting behind? I believe that's Killer sitting behind him.
Yes,
as
that's
he
right.
rounds the final corner now. Is this a representative lap time? I'm going to say no, as he's already passed his current lap time. But I believe that'll do it for this session.
Yep, Black Pro just across the line. He hasn't improved. Killer on the loose also doesn't improve, and everyone else on the grid has finished their qualifying. So there we go. There's our 10 minutes of qualifying done. That's a great stuff. 44.6 from Bumcrack. We've got less. I'm just trying to figure this out. We've got the top 10 are still separated by only 1 second. That is top stuff. As we have a look at the qualifying results, the official results for that session, Bumcrack takes another pole position this season with a 44.664. Boybegum in P2, just 2 tenths separating those two drivers. Budsy for Iser Esports solidifies himself on the second row of the grid alongside Daz in P4, Shizer in P5. A strong showing for the two BRZs around here. Carbonboy in the Supra in P6, Felix P7, Black Project, the sole Ferrari in this grid, in P8, and the latter half of the pack is as follows. Stranger in the Alpha in P9, Killer and Deleuze in P10, Guru for Datsun Racing in his Mercedes in P11, and Sizzling Sausage for Black Rose rounds out the grid in P12. So, wow, what a lot to think about after that session, definitely. Yeah, sure is. And for Bumcrack here, getting pole position is fantastic, although you do start on the outside of the track. With a false grid start, he's going to have to worry a little bit about getting off the line properly. I don't know if the Supra is the best necessarily off the line. We know the Porsche can be strong, but I'm going to be looking at Daz and Shizer in the BRZs. I think they're going to be quick off the line, those two in 4th and 5th. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just going to be a massive start to this race, as the McLaren isn't too bad off the line either. The Porsche isn't historically known to be too great off the line, neither's the Supra, no. So it's going to be a massive jump for the McLaren and the two BRZs waiting behind. So, yeah, anything can happen at this start, so... I mean, don't write anybody off in this next 24 laps, that's for sure. Yeah, it's going to be a great race to watch. Obviously, the first turn is tricky, and then you're followed by what is probably around 1.6 kilometers of pretty much flat-out driving until you get to another hard braking zone in the bus stop. So it's always a bit of spice here at the start. So we'll see. Just hopefully we don't have any mustard today. Yeah, absolutely. So...
I don't think we keep these guys waiting any longer. I think everyone's ready to go, as we are on schedule to start the 24 laps of Division 3. So what do you reckon, CGK? Click that big red button?
I reckon so. It's yeah, very tempting to do so early, but yep, the button has been pushed, so good luck to Division 3. Let's have a fantastic race.
Here we go. I'm so excited for this one. Hopefully it's another magnificent race that we saw with Division 3 last time out at Interlagos.
Yeah, well, that was a fantastic race, and lots of strategies going on. Today, it's just the required racing mediums and racing softs, so it'll be very interesting, again, to see who's starting on what tyre. You might see quite a significant difference during the start, but here we go.
5 lights, revs rising, they're out and away we go! Racing at Watkins Glen in Division 3, and as predicted, Boybegum gets a ripper start, as well as the Ferrari up the back of Black Project makes up heaps of positions, a little bit of bump and shuffle, but it looks like everybody makes it through turn 1 cleanly. Oh, that's the Isocar running wide, I believe, of Budsy. He might pick up a penalty for that, as these guys head through turn 2, keeping it friendly by the looks of things. But yeah, the big winner there was Boybegum and Black Project. Absolutely ripper start from those two. And Boybegum's made a jump 6.5 tenths to Bumcrack behind. As we head up to the bus stop, chicane. Oh, a little bit of contact. Huge lockup from somebody in the background there. But everyone holds their position so far by the looks of things. No moves made into the bus stop as these guys barrel down towards turn 5.
Oh, it's heart and mouth stuff, really it is, at the start of Watkins Glen. Brilliant stuff, everyone keeping it mostly clean. A little bit of antics at turn 1, but overall not too bad. You're absolutely right, but I was talking about Daz earlier on. He got a good start there. Budsy obviously falling back, not ideal, but still some action going on in the back.
Is that a move around the outside into turn 6 from... oh no, I think it was just the Obsession car
wide,
going down the inside of Stranger, but these two still battling it out. And even for the last position, these guys bump at a tail here as they come through the final section of the track to complete the first lap. Just a few more quarters to go.
Clean so far is what we like to see. But yeah, McLaren of Boybegum, he's going to be stoked with that. Bumcrack falling back to P2, so losing out immediately. He's not falling off the back at the moment, so reasonably close gaps between all of these guys. There may be some tyre difference across the grid. We will check that out a little bit later on in the race. But so far, the biggest battle at the moment is going to be between Freelix, I think, and Budsy and Daz.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a bit of a gap, 8/10 gap to Killer on the Loose, who made miles of ground up on the start of that. 3 positions gained. Started P10, Killer did, and he finds himself in P7 ahead of Shizer in the BRZ.
I don't think Shizer had the best of starts there, really, because he was up in P5, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah. And now he's under pressure from the monster in a straight line, the Supra of Carbonboy. Can he chuck it down the inside? No, Shizer covers it off well as they approach the bus stop.
It's a tricky corner, that bus stop. Got to get it turned in twice. And make sure you sort out your exit as well, because you're going to lose a lot of speed if you don't. Good stuff, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But you just saw through the bus stop chicane the amount of grip that the BRZ has compared to the Supra. That gap was just a couple of tenths, but now it's out to 9 tenths, and Shizer's really closed up to the back of Killer on the Loose there. He's absolutely dropped Carbonboy. Expect that gap to come right back down as they get to that main straight. A long straight section coming up of the pit straight and that run from turn 2 down to the bus stop.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier as well. The straights here are going to favour some cars, and in particular the Supra, because we know it's got great straight line speed, but there's a lot of high-speed corners that rely on great aero and great grip, and that is really where the Supra starts to struggle. So a lot of these other cars, especially the BRZ, looking fierce and mighty here, and yeah, Killer on the Loose is going to be under a lot of pressure from Shizer in the next few laps of this race. You can just see the amount of turn-in that they get. It's significant.
As Bumcrack, he goes purple with a 45.3, and he's taken the lead of the race over Boybegum.
Oh wow, yes he has indeed, and shout out to Black Project as well. He's up into P3 right now, so he had a great start. Now he's going to be hunting down the McLaren in front of him. A second is the gap currently, but yeah, Bumcrack has just pulled out a 1.6 second gap there, so that's absolutely massive.
Potentially down to tyre advantage, but we'll have to wait and see when we get to the APR Automotive tyre and fuel update later on in this race.
Into the bus stop chicane they go once again. Just keeping an eye on Budsy at the moment. He's under a bit of pressure now from Freelix, especially after that long straight. The Porsche doesn't have great top-line speed. The Supra is obviously going to beat it out in that, but we saw how quick Budsy was in qualifying. He nearly took out a pole position, so he's doing well right now to be driving nice and fast through these corners as he needs to be. Otherwise, he's going to get caught by Freelix, who's run just a little bit onto the grass. Some dirty tyres now for Freelix.
Yeah. A little something as well to mention with the track limits, as we see Boybegum run wide, which may come with an invoice. It does. So, a little something with the lines on the edge of the track. So, the way it works is the white lines that you see, you cannot cross over. However, when there's curbs or close to curbs, the line changes to yellow. When that line is yellow, you are allowed to use the curb. And you'll see as they come through, you see on the inside, the apex and on the exit, you're allowed to use the curb there, which you see Boybegum and a couple of other cars using, and you're allowed to cross that. But where this line turns to white, you're not allowed to be over that line. And these guys will be watching that white line, where that yellow and white line change between the two to see where they can exploit the track limits for the most amount of time.
Yeah, it's a very, very critical thing to keep an eye on because penalties here are very costly. You're at the boot when you serve your penalty and you're going up a hill, so it's possibly the worst place on this circuit, other than maybe just after turn 1, to be serving a penalty, and it's going to cost you a huge amount. It'll cost you a run down through the heel as well, so at this stage Boybegum's going to be trying to pull out as much of a gap to Black Project behind him in the Ferrari. Daz and Budsy though are catching up, or they're not necessarily catching up, they're certainly holding on to the Ferrari at the moment, who's taken a very nice line there through bus stop.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you could see at turn 1 when those guys, they were running very wide. There's the best example at turn 4. The white line is actually on the curb, and you're not allowed to run wide at that corner until you reach that yellow line. But we saw at turn 1, the exit of turn 1, some of those cars, it would appear as though they are blatantly going over that line and breaking track limits. But with that yellow line, it means that you're allowed to use the curb, which is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it's almost like a you can park here just a little bit, sir. But on the white lines, it's a no, you cannot park here at all, sir, sort of situation. Maybe they need to change the colours to red and green. I'm not sure, but either way, these drivers know exactly what they're doing with these track limits, and they have to, because as we mentioned as well, the track penalty here is brutal if you get it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So 5.5 seconds Bumcracker's pulled in the first 4 laps of this race. Boybegum manages to hold on to the position from Black Project, who is under threat from Daz. We have a massive battle pack forming for the final few scraps of the podium. Could even say that Budsy's involved in this as well. Everyone down to about Freelix is within earshot of this battle.
Yeah, it's good. This is I'm starting to wonder about some of the strategies around the grid, because most of the pack has been on pretty similar pace at the start of this race, as indicated by those who are following now Boybegum. There's a pack of 5 cars, and there's a little bit of a gap there back to where Killer Under the Loose is leading Shizer Carbonboy the Stranger, who's having a very good battle with Gurr at the moment in his Mercedes. And at the back of the grid, even Sizzling Sausage, that's a bit of a tongue twister, is holding on in that nice Nissan GTR. So he's doing very, very well for Black Rose at the moment, he is.
Yeah. So we are approaching what would be about the halfway mark of a soft tyre stint so far. So I think we don't keep the viewers waiting any longer. What do you say we get into our APR tyre and fuel update, CGK?
I think that's a fantastic idea. Let's give these lovely viewers of ours, some information. Okie dokie. So, welcome in, and we are going to go through the grid now and give everyone a little bit of an update on what's going on. So, here's the thing about Bumcrack right now. He's on the racing softs. Currently, they're a little bit worn, maybe 40%. The left tyres, both of them taking an absolute beating in the Super at the moment. He's on about 45% of his fuel as well. So, as you said, we are coming up to about halfway through the soft tyre life, and that's evident on our leader's car at the moment, but he's pulled out a great gap.
Oh,
6.3 second
again.
gap, and purple again. He goes. top stuff from Bumcrack here. This is great stuff to see. Behind him in P2 at the moment, Boy Begum. He's actually on the racing medium tyres, and he's not saving as much fuel at the moment, so the racing medium is going to last quite a bit longer. I'm not quite sure exactly how much they're going to last. Possibly 15, possibly 16 laps here, if you can really manage them well. The real constraint is going to be the fuel usage, how much fuel you're using to stay away from the cars that are around you. Behind him in P3, it is Black Project and his Ferrari. He's on racing mediums as well. He's killing his left rear tyre at the moment, but he's got plenty of fuel to play with. Behind them in P4 is Daz. He's in the BRZ at the moment. Those tyres are looking fresh as groceries, mate. Fresh as veggies in the supermarket. He's using a bit of fuel, and it's typical with the BRZ, but the tyres are looking glorious at the moment. In P5, we do have the racing medium running Budsy, ICE Esports. So he's on racing mediums, and they're looking fairly okay. 60% of his fuels are doing really good on the fuel saving, as the Porsche usually is. And behind them, this is rounding out the first real battle pack that's going on. It is Freelix, and he's using up as quite a bit of his tyres, as the Supra does tend to do, holding on to about 52% of his fuel. Behind them, another Supra in Killer on Duluth, I should say, not in Duluth. That'd be an interesting name. He's on the racing medium tyre at the moment. They're getting pretty worn, as we suspect with the Supra. He's just running a little bit low on fuel, though, so really using a lot more fuel than the rest of the grid. Then the BRZ of Shizer in P8. He's used a lot of his tyres, so I'm not quite sure. There's a big difference between him and Daz at the moment in terms of tyre usage. They are certainly not as fresh as supermarket groceries. They're more like a couple of day-old vegetables that you leave out in the open air. But he's got plenty of fuel on board, so he's looking strong. Then in P9 we've got Carbonboy. He's on the racing mediums and doing a great job in a Supra to look after his tyres, and he's got a bunch of fuel on board as well, about 56% after 7 laps. That is top stuff there from Carbonboy. And to round out the grid, the last 3, it is The Stranger in the Alfa Romeo, looking at about 80% on his racing medium tyres at the moment, about 60% of his fuel. Then we've got Gurr in the Mercedes. He's running almost exactly the same stats, got about 20 or 30% on those racing medium tyres and 51% of the fuel. And guess what I'm about to tell you here, Sizzling Sausages on racing mediums. So he's using quite a lot of the tyres. The front left looking very dodgy on that GTR, but he's got about 60% of the fuel on board. So, Lenocis, we've got everyone on the grid on mediums except for our leader.
That is massive in terms of strategy here. It just depends on who decides to pit when. I mean, at this stage you would assume most might be on the one stop, but from a couple of calculations that I've seen some drivers do, the 2-stop and the 1-stop are both viable strategies. So could Bumcrack be the only one here on the 2-stop, I should say, where everybody else is trying the 1? I'm getting mixed up here, but
Numbers.
I mean, it's possible.
A stop, A plan, or strategy A, strategy B. Let's call it that. But yeah, that's a very good point. If he does try to do a 2-stop, he's lost a bit of time out of the last few corners there. So he's gone from 7 seconds ahead to about 6.8. He's going to need to keep increasing that gap. He's going to have to do a bit better than that, I think, to manage a 2-stop against a 1-stop strategy. Yes, the guys on the mediums will be running a bit slower per lap, but he's going to need to make up probably somewhere in the range of 30 to 40 seconds on those soft tyres if he's going to double stint it. But they're looking very dead at the moment, only 20% left, and this is why he's losing some time to the cars behind now. Although I say that as he does just put on about 0.6 of a second, so he's up to 7.6 seconds now.
Yeah, that is the strong point for the Supra on the track. Now these sweepers is where it's going to get real tough for him on those worn tyres. As we see, yeah, that gap is just coming right the way down, and as they come into the sweeper, we see it potentially coming down again. No, it looks like he manages to hold out against the drivers behind, Boy Begum especially, but good job to Bumcrack, still managing those tyres well.
Very good job indeed. The medium runners, some of them are starting to really struggle. The Ferrari of Black Project in P3 and Boy Begum in particular.
Move with Carbonboy on Shizer there coming into turn 5. And now Shizer potentially returning to sender here. Unable to do so. Maybe on the switchback. No, but he's going to have the slipstream all the way down the boot. As is. We see him. No, it looks like he's just content with sitting behind Carbonboy now. Very wide line from Shiza, braking late, a little bit later than he probably would have liked. Heading on to the main course once again as Bumcrack's in. So that pretty much tells us he's doing the 2-stop.
Yeah. I mean, you pretty much got to at this point. Otherwise, you're going to have to run, what was that, 21 laps on the mediums? That's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a long time. 16 laps on the mediums. That may be a bit too much, but let's see what Bumcrack can do as he comes out of the pits. 76% fuel in the tank. That pretty much confirms it. Where does he come out? He's I can't see him anywhere. P12. Oh, he's still in the pits. P12. Yes, because I forgot that transit time. It's the only track in Gran Turismo where you go to your pit box immediately, and then you watch your car drive from the pit box out of the pit lane, which is a bit funny.
It is pretty interesting, and can confirm my math was totally off there as well. 16 laps indeed. So both of us struggling with math at the moment. That's not ideal. We need some pocket calculators out here. But yeah, so he's right at the back of the field now. He's on the mediums, so maybe he can still make this work on a one-stop, but it's gonna be a bit of a tall order, I suspect.
With 76% fuel in the car, I would imagine he'd be coming back in. There's no way that Supra could save that amount of fuel.
Yeah, fuel map 6 and shifting at 20%. Maybe just drive the car in gear 6 the whole way around the track. Maybe, but no, you're absolutely right. It's got to be a 2-stop strategy.
So how's Boybagum going with his time? Oh, Boybagum's gone! Oh no,
Oh.
That's huge drama! Oh wow! That's massive! As we try, he drops all the way down the order. Budsy potentially overtaking him as well.
Oh, and he's got...
As he peels into the pits.
Yeah, he's going to have to switch up strategies there. Oh, wow. Is that going to be track limits on the inside for the pit lane? That's possibly going to be a 3-second penalty for him there. Oh, dear. He's got front splitter damage as well, so good call to have the awareness to jump into the pits immediately. Now he's got an interesting call to make, because he'll have to 2-stop as well.
Yeah, exactly. As we'll try and catch that on the Next Level Racing action replay, as we switched across to Boybagum from Bumcrack, and he just got massive oversteer and finds himself into the... So not ideal at all for Boybagum.
Yeah, just sometimes the car just decides, hey, that's it. I mean, he wasn't on particularly worn tyres, so maybe just a bit of unforced driver error there, which is really unfortunate, because he really wants to get up into the championship lead here in Division 3. And now the real battle, provisionally on pole at the moment, is Black Project, followed very closely by Daz. He nearly had him in the chute.
Yeah, exactly. This battle has been raging on all race, and I can only imagine it'll get better.
It's going to be a nice one to follow, and I'm thinking these guys, just based on their fuel at the moment, they're probably going to have to come into the pits in the next 3 or 4 laps. So are we going to see a few more 2-stops here than we thought? We possibly are.
I would imagine so. These guys, I mean, you only really... it depends on the car, because 12 laps on a soft tyre isn't out of the realm of possibility. It is possible. Do you want to be on 12-lap-old softs? Probably not, but, I mean, these guys can do whatever they want.
Yeah, just gotta... you just gotta send it and see what works, and whoever comes across the line at the end has got the right strategy call. Boybagum, he's taken full fuel for this next stint, so he's going to be going as long as possible on this set of racing softs.
Oh,
there is
Killer's in.
14... Oh, Killer's in as well. Cool, all right. Well, we've got 14 laps, including this one that we're on right now, left in this race. And yeah, the strategy is going to get really interesting as everything stitches itself back up later in this race.
Absolutely. As we're just looking on board with Stranger Gur and Sizzling Sausage. It looks like Sizzling Sausage has lost touch with the guys in front a little bit, but here's some news. Bumcrack has taken that extra pit stop and is now on the back of this pack.
Yeah, he's caught up really fast. When he came out of the pits, he was about 7 seconds or 8 seconds behind Sizzling Sausage, but he's right there now. Sizzling Sausage will have a 0.5-second penalty and very dead racing medium tyres. He's absolutely cooked those tyres this round. and that's going to make it probably very easy for the super driver behind him in Bumcrack to get past him. So right ahead of them, of course, has been this battle going on between Sizzling Sausage Gur and the Stranger, or specifically between the Stranger and Gur, who've been doing very well. Just to, you know, they've just been staying in each other's slipstream, just hanging out together on track, saying a little hello. No moves between the two at this stage. I think they're both on saving strategies at this moment. We did see a few interesting saving strategies at our endurance race, so I wonder if some of that knowledge is translated over to today.
Yeah, well, Stranger and Gur, they're different teams, different cars, but they are brothers. So imagine these guys, as much as they want to be competitive with one another, they got to scratch you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back sort of deal going on, you would imagine.
You'd imagine, yeah. I mean, we don't want to infer anything about their brotherly relationship out here on track, but so far it looks like a very good relationship they've got between each other. Quick note on P6 and Shizer. He's got very dead racing mediums, and he's out again. So at the end of this lap, he'll be on 0% on those tyres. Carbonboy in front of him, still got 20% left.
Shizer obviously running to a number, as he must be trying to make that one stop work. And to his credit, if he has to stay out on those worn mediums to try and make the soft stint last, then that's what he's going to do.
Oh, we've had a change for the lead, Lenocis. Daz has managed to get himself in the BRZ up ahead of Black Project. He's really struggling on a dead rear left tyre. It's totally gone at this stage. So Daz just flying past. He's still got 50% on his racing mediums. He's just struggling on fuel.
Daz, the tyre whisperer today in that BRZ. You see the stark comparison between Daz and Shizer. Shizer's worn. Oh! And Black Project! Oh, he slips to the inside and loses the position to Freelix.
Yeah.
Oh dear. That's another
turn,
victim.
Yeah, that turn right there is where you need a rear left tyre, and he doesn't have one at this stage. Oh, he can't do anything, can he now? Oh dear.
So let's have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay. It looks like that rear left just stepped out on him, and there was nothing he could do. It looks like he's avoided that wall, but 2 positions lost for Black Project, or 3 if you're including Daz there as well.
Yeah, and with the pit stop as well, he'll still be behind Bumcrack and Boy Begum as well. He will file into the pits, and I can confirm he has had no damage. So a great save overall. Oh, nearly gets snap oversteer on the pit entry as well. Whew, that's
everyone except Budsy is in out of those top 4. That first pack. Let's see if Carbonboy comes in. No, he doesn't. Around again, and more importantly, Shizer goes around again. As we have a 4-way battle here. Shizer struggling for grip. These 4 going at it. Hammer and tongs. Stranger chucks it down the inside. Easy as you like. Now we're looking further back to the 2 behind. Bumcrack and Gur. Bumcrack on those fresher tyres as well on the alternate strategy here. Let's see if he can make his way past Shizer and potentially Stranger as well before the bus stop chicane. Gets the car down the inside. Little bit of contact. They hold it true for now though. That BRZ in the slipstream of Stranger. I don't think Bumcrack's going to be able to get the move done. No, he is not. Has to settle behind Shizer for now.
Oh, that traffic he's encountering, though, is a disaster for his race hopes at this stage, because he's on the mediums now, and for those of them that are going to be running the softs towards the end, although he will likely be doing exactly that, he's about 35-36% of his fuel right now, so he's probably only got another 3 or 4 laps, but he needs to get past Shizer. He's got a good run down here towards... Oh, yeah, that's...
Oh, around the outside!
Yeah, that's nice.
Ooh. What a move! Can he get it pulled up? No, he can't. Shizer holds off on the dead tyres, but the straight line speed of the Super is too much, and Shizer has to concede the position.
It's impressive driving from Shizer there, because he's got 0% on his front left right now. He's going to lose a position to Gur. Gur goes through. He's got slightly better tyres as well. No fuel for these chaps. I think this is going to cue another set of pit stops on track this lap.
Absolutely, as Budsy's in. The first of the drivers on the medium. Oh, yeah, on the medium. He's gone the longest, if that makes sense. That did not make sense at all, but it looks like Carbonboy goes around again. So does Stranger. Bumcrack obviously goes around again on the alternate strategy. And Gur and Shizer both into the pit lane. So Carbonboy leads the way.
He does indeed, and he's still got a reasonable amount of life, at least 1 lap. he can go around with the tyres at the current stage. 2 laps of fuel I suspect he's got on board, but I think we'll see Carbonboy come into the pits shortly after this. Behind him though, the Stranger is on a fantastic strategy. Oh, here we go.
Bumcrack peels out to the inside, gets it done way before the bus stop. That was as easy as you like for Bumcrack.
And goes purple. Just a cherry on top. Yeah, this is what Bumcrack needs right now. He needs to get past this traffic. These guys who are currently running in P1 and P3, Carbonboy and the Stranger, this is not their fight. They know that Bumcrack's going to be coming through. They don't want to be fighting. They're on an alternative strategy at this stage. Although, you know, you never really want to let someone pass on track. Carbonboy looking to stay in the middle of the track. Goes wide, but takes a good line in. That's pretty evident that he's running out of tyres. You can see the amount of traction that the Supra of Bumcrack has got. He's going to go and look for the inside line. Down, up the boot they go, into the heel. He's going to have at least a car ahead. Yes, he does. That is a clean move there from Bumcrack to take the lead back in this race. Oh, nearly bins it on the exit. Ugh.
And apologise to our viewers, as there is an intermittent issue with the Next Level Racing Action replay at this time. That should come back up in the next couple of minutes. So we were unable to watch that back on the Next Level Racing Action replay, unfortunately.
Oh, it's never ideal, but you know, these things happen. The technical glitches are part of sim racing, inevitably. Carbonboy coming into the pits, as is the Stranger. Yeah, so the third round of pit stops being triggered in this last sort of, what is it? I can't do math right now. 9 laps of this race.
Yeah, and as Carbonboy would say, they both come in on the smell of an oily rag.
That's right, they've got a lot of work to do now to catch themselves back up. The field will be coming through. We do have the Racing Soft running Killer on Deleuze. He is now up into provisional P3. Boybegum though, and this is the interesting thing, he's used a lot of his Racing Soft tyres already. He's now 10 seconds behind Bumcrack at the moment. So these two are the ones battling it out for the Division 3 championship right now. As it stands, Boybegum is going to lose out in this, and Bumcrack will take a nice healthy lead once again in this championship. Currently it's only 2 points between them, so this is great so far for Bumcrack, but we know that he's going to have to pit again in the next couple of laps. He will be on softs at the end, but Boybegum starting on the mediums means he's got 2 Racing Soft stints in him, so he just needs to hold on at this point, but he needs to close up that gap, because this is the time when Bumcrack's going to be slow. He's on the medium tyre, so he needs to find that time. The time is dropping already to 9 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's also dropping Killer a little bit, who Killer, I believe he might be doing a 2-stop.
Yes, I can confirm. He's currently on 25% of his fuel, and those Racing Softs are going to wear out pretty quickly. So he'll be on a 2-stop as well, but he's actually got himself up into a really good position here. Yes, he'll lose out in the pit stop. Potentially a 1-stop running Daz behind him in the BRZ right now, who's on 80% of his fuel and very fresh Racing Soft tyres. I think Daz is going to go to the end here.
Daz, oh, that's an interesting call. I mean, he's so good on his tyres in that first stint. So could he do that? Could he repeat that in the second stint potentially and carry his BRZ to a podium?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. The words came out of my mouth and I started thinking about it and I went, ugh. Well, I wouldn't want to do that if I was racing, so... but behind him, right behind him, in fact, is Budsy, who's having a fantastic race at the moment. They're on exactly the same strategy, it seems like, Daz and Budsy. Both on the Racing Softs, both with a lot of fuel on board, and really putting the pedal to the metal at the moment, because they're having a great little battle for P4 and P5.
And we could potentially see a move from Budsy right up under the rear bumper of Daz now. Peels to the outside. Can he do it? That's the question. No, definitely cannot. Peels off, concedes the position, but that leaves Freelix in the wings waiting for any mistake from the two in front.
Here's the obvious comment here tonight from the commentators. A Supra has just gone purple in Sector 1. Oh, big surprise. Freelix behind them is going very, very quickly. He's on less tyres, the same amount of fuel, but he's being rapid at the moment, especially obviously in the straights.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Boybagum, he's actually snatched the fastest lap from Bumcrack as well. As we see Budsy going for the move down the inside of Killer. Not Killer, Daz I should say. And he gets it done. Very, very nice move indeed.
Clean from the Porsche there. Had a great overspeed up the boot. And then just, entered on the inside. Daz had to leave him room at the end of the day. He had well over a car length. And now Daz under pressure from Freelix. Freelix going to go up the inside. Oh, there's a bit of contact there between the two. But it's another reasonably clean overtake there. Freelix has gotten up to P5. Daz, in the space of 3 corners, has lost 2 positions. That's not ideal. As we do see Bumcrack come in for a second stop. He's going to go out now onto another set of racing mediums.
That's a very interesting call. With, oh wait, is he, or are we just waiting for the confirmation?
Might be just waiting for the confirmation, actually. Hold on, our screens are not quite updated yet. No, there we go. It is racing softs. Okay, that makes a lot more sense, because otherwise we were about to, say, throw the strategy in the bin and throw the race win away, but...
Now the question is, how far can he catch up? Currently in P7, that should drop to P5 by the time Boybagum and Killer both take their pit stops. And then he has, by the looks of things, Budsy should be the first run. He has 13 seconds to chase down. 8 laps.
Ooh.
This is going to be a ripper of a chase by Bumcrack.
Lucky for him, though, he's come out into a beautiful, beautiful long stretch of clean air in front of him. So he can really get his head down now, focus on good lap times, and this is going to be a brilliant stint from him if he can get it right, because when Boybagum comes out, he could... If he's not in the right position, he could come out in what is currently the tail pack. So he had a bit of luck and came out clean for his second stint, but he might be dropped back into the pack in a really not ideal situation if he comes out onto his pit stop in the middle of that pack. Is he going to pit now? Yes, he is. Okay.
So this is the call from Boybagum, the CP driver. Peels into the pits on lap 17. Now, what's crucial for Bumcrack is that he has overcut that pack behind him. They're long gone. I don't think they're going to be catching up to him anytime soon as they're on the 1 stop. But that was crucial for this strategy to work for Bumcrack. Now begs the question, where does Boybagum come out? And Killer? Boybagum is... Oh, maybe. This is going to be tight. Is Boybagum able to leapfrog the pack? I don't think he will. He's going to be behind this pack. And that's going to be massive.
Oh, that's a disaster for Boybagum. Exactly what we were worrying about. Oh, it's going to be close.
Comes out just behind Shizer.
Oh, no.
So he's got 2 cars to overtake.
That's not ideal. The gap between them, though, is now only 3 seconds. So it's not a big gap for Boybagum to make up. He took a little bit less fuel, of course, this round because he did a really good job saving fuel. I might have explained why he was a little bit further back. As we do see Bumcrack go purple in Sector 1 again. Big surprise there with the Supra, as always. I just want to redirect our attention as well to Budsy, because he is not going to be stopping again, as far as I can tell. And I've been watching his tyres and his fuel consumption. At this stage, Budsy not looking to pit again at all. Freelix behind him has got very dead tyres. He probably won't make it to the end. And Daz is the only other contender there. So Budsy here is, I'm just trying to figure out the seconds, 12.5 seconds ahead of Bumcrack right now. Doesn't have to pit again, and has got reasonably fresh tyres.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be a chase down between these front runners, Budsy, Freelix, Daz, Black Project, and Bumcrack. He's got 12.5 seconds now. Was 13. So can he potentially take this win? There's a lot of cars in between him and Budsy, but who's it going to be? That's what we're going to find out in the next 6 laps, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, our math has been just shocking today, hasn't it, Lenocis? we have struggled with that massively today, but it's okay. I'm sure the viewers at home are doing the math and going, oh, these guys. But nonetheless, the Bumcrack here, he's setting 146s. That's a 145 there. That's a much, much better lap. He needs to be setting 144s, or he's not going to catch up with Budsy. Budsy has been consistently in the low 46s, and with 12 seconds between them and only 5 laps remaining now, he's going to need to make up somewhere about 2 seconds a lap on Budsy, and he's got cars in between as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be too tough for Bumcrack. So could we be looking at a debut win for Budsy? He's got 1.5 seconds to Freelix. I mean, it's all to play for here for the ISA driver.
It sure is.
Could it potentially be ISA Esports' first race win in Sector 1?
I don't want to be biased and I don't want to be unfair to anyone, but it could well be. It could well be, and there'll be some big celebrations down in the ISA Esports paddock if that is the case. Sort of like when a sort of minnow team in Formula 1 wins in some ways, but the gap between him and Frelix is increasing lap on lap. Frelix not able to put in those times. His tyres are at about 20% on the Racing Softs Frelix, so he's going to continue to drop off the back of Budsy into the clasps of Daz, who is still running some pretty healthy tyres at the moment, but just doesn't seem to have the pace. His best lap in the last few laps has been a 46.6, whereas Budsy has been consistently, in the last 2 laps, 46.1, 46.1, 46.5, 46.4.
As Boybigami's made his way past Shizer after a lap and a half, almost 2 laps. That's just not enough for Boybigam at this stage of the race. He's got Carbonboy 1.9 seconds in front. As Black Project pits, oh,
Ooh.
that's massive. 4 laps to go.
Oh, that's a bold strategy call there from the Ferrari driver. His tyres were gone, though, I have to admit, Lenocis, so it was pit or spin.
The lap times are coming down for Bumcrack as well. 1:45.1 on the last lap. It's not going to be enough at this stage. But those tyres from Budsy, they're going to start dropping off sooner or later. As he goes purple, Bumcrack is on a charge. He might be going into the 44s on this lap, and that's what he needs.
Yeah, you make a good point about Budsy and his tyres. I mean, yes, he's out in front. Yes, he's got a big gap. But if he ends up on 0% tyres, that car is going to be undrivable for this time. So he could end up with Bumcrack making up possibly 3 or 4, 5 seconds in a lap at the end if Budsy does not have the tyres to hold up, and that's the situation. Frelix is staring down right now. Daz doing pretty well, but he's only 4.5 seconds ahead of Bumcrack, and that gap is reducing massively. Purple again for Bumcrack. Ooh.
This is going to be a 44.7, or at least he's on track to being that.
Very nice through the heel he goes. It's smooth, consistent. You can tell he's loving having the grip back in the tyre.
Absolutely. Bumcrack with the pole position. He's not a slow operator, and these guys will know that. 3.5 tenths now, purple.
We did say he has to do 44s if he's going to win this race, and here we go. This is probably going to be a 44. Through the last corner he goes. It's a good line, a little bit wide, but this is going to be a great time.
It absolutely is a 44.
That's beautiful from him. Yeah, he's going to be stoked with that. 2 more of those, please, and you might be back up into P1.
As Boybigam is tailing Carbonboy at the moment, but is he going to make his way past? I'm not too sure. I mean, 1.5 tenths, under a tenth now. Oh my! But that straight line speed of the Supra may be too much.
Oh, you just drop back in the slipstream. Yeah, dropping the slipstream. Carbonboy's going to go defensive here for the bus stop. That's a sensible move. He's going to have... Wait, oh, look at the speed. Just pulls away at the end of the straight.
Good
and
defense
we'll see the McLaren...
by Carbonboy.
Yep, and we'll see the McLaren just run right back up to the front of that back of that bumper, which he does. Now, this is a great little battle, but this is not helping Boybigam at all.
Yeah, being held up, I mean... It's a tough one for Boybigam. He needs to make his way past Carbonboy. He probably needed to make his way past Carbonboy a lap and a half ago.
Yeah.
But...
it just hasn't quite happened. It is very, very tough. This is a very difficult track to overtake on. There are some zones, you've got the big straights, but you've got to be very brave to overtake into the bus stop. You've got to be very brave to overtake into turn 1.
The outside line. Oh, around the outside potentially of the Supra. No! Oh. Carbonboy slams the door shut on the outside, but Boybigam's still knocking at that door.
Carbonboy keen as baked beans for that P5 position. He does not want to give Boybigam an inch here, and Boybigam just does not have the speed when they get to the end of these little straights. He just doesn't have the speed in the car, hasn't got a good enough exit. This is looking a bit more promising. Goes for a shallower line into turn 11. Good run here for Boybigam. He's going to be right up onto the back bumper of Carbonboy, but Carbonboy going defensive once again. Boybegun wants to find that inside line. He knows that that's probably going to be the only way to get past Carbonboy is to find that inside line and to shoot past him into a corner where the McLaren is much better under brakes.
Absolutely. And we're in the exact same situation that we were 1 minute 45 seconds ago.
That's correct. A note here, Bumcrack has gotten something like 4 or 5 seconds on Daz. Daz is now only 1.5 seconds up the road from him. His tyres are looking pretty worn, and Freelix, by the way, who's trying to make it to the end now, is running on 0 tyres.
Oh my goodness.
On both the front left and the front right. He is Gonski in terms of his tyres. Daz is going to get him in short order here, and Bumcrack is making up time per corner. The gap is now under a second. He's going to get past these two, and then it's only Budsy who's got 6 seconds up the road, but his tyres are also dying.
Yeah, absolutely. It might be too little too late for Bumcrack though, as he's got 7 seconds to chase down at this stage of the race. But it looks like Daz, he's got the outside line. Oh, can't quite get the move done on Freelix there. But he's knocking on that door.
Yeah,
can he get past?
It's a matter of time that Freelix goes wide into a corner and has no grip at all, and Daz will storm past him. This could provide an opportunity for Bumcrack just to fly on through as well. Yeah, look at that, look how wide he's hit the wall. Freelix is in the wall. Yeah, straight through goes Daz. I hope that's not a commentator's curse, but Bumcrack will also as well go through on the inside into turn 1. Yes, he does.
Oh,
gets on the brake. Nice move.
As we have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay at what that was. As for some reason it didn't save. Thank you, Next Level Racing action replay.
Oh no. Oh, our technical worries continue to give us woes. That's a shame, but oh well. It is what it is. It was so we had Freelix was up in front, and he went through the last corner and just went really wide because he's got 2 tyres at 0%. Oh, we've got Bumcrack gone wide.
Oh dear, that's massive for Bumcrack.
Oh dear, I missed unfortunately what happened. I saw the aftermath. I don't know if there was any contact. He might have had some snap oversteer there on the exit of the bus stop, and that has thrown him back into P4. That's massive because the gap is now extended to 9 seconds to Budsy. Oh dear. Yeah, that could be a race-winning kind of territory there in terms of that incident.
Yeah, we're still having intermittent issues with the Next Level Racing action replay, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we'll see if we can sort this stuff out for the Division 1 race.
Indeed. For the moment, though, the battle continues. So once again, between Freelix and Bumcrack. But as I was saying, the lap before, Freelix just had 0 grip on those front 2 tyres. He's got 2 tyres at 0% and 1, which is his rear left, at 5%. So he's got basically no tyres on that car. And he ran super wide into the last corner and hit the wall. Daz drove straight past him. Bumcrack drove straight past him on the corner. And Bumcrack's going to have another go here. Down into turn 1 on the pit straight. Looks on the inside, looks on the outside. Switcheroo. Defensive is Freelix, but he's not going to be able to do anything because Bumcrack has got the inside line into turn 1 and a mile more grip. We're on the last lap now.
Yeah, and there's 9 seconds to Budsy down the road for Bumcrack, so I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Yeah, Budsy at this point in P1, he's got enough fuel for 1 lap. He's got 2 dead tyres on the left-hand side of his car, so he's going to have no grip through the boot and the chute and all of that in the infield of this lap, the inner loop. But he doesn't have to worry too much, just needs to bring it home at this
Freelix
stage.
very wide.
Oh, yeah,
Mike
he's got no tyres.
with an invoice.
Yeah,
Yes, it does. Half a second. As this race is far from over, Shizer down the order as well, losing the position to Stranger. He was in P7, but after a battle with Gur and Stranger, has now lost both of those positions.
And we've just had Boybegum finally get past Carbonboy for P5, so he will secure that position, but he's way too far off Freelix to have a go for P4, sadly. And has a bit of a dance.
Moment.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't think Carbonboy is going to be able to take that, though. As the gap is coming down between Bumcrack and Daz, 1.9 seconds, but it's too little too late, I think. As we switch to Budsy, as he rounds the penultimate corner here, and into the final corner. What a magnificent drive for Budsy, and he takes a historic win for ISA Esports, their first win as an organisation, coming here in Division 3, P1 for Budsy. Daz for Deeds takes P2, another great outing, great form for the Deeds driver. Bumcrack, the championship leader in P3, Freelix holds on to P4, Boybegum in P5. Carbonboy comes home in P6 after a stint-long battle with Boybegum. Gur, the Datsun driver, comes home in P7. Great drive from him. Stranger in P9 and P8, Shiza P9, Black Project P10, Kill on the Loose in P11, and Sizzling Sausage. He's going to be coming home in P12. I think he might have tried the two-stop, and it hasn't quite worked out for him.
Yeah, it just didn't have the consistency of the lap times to really make the two-stop work. And I have to say, despite the two-stop and the one-stop being pretty much equal on pace, the thing that it's come down to today has been laps traffic. Well, not laps traffic,
absolutely.
Traffic in general. Like, it's the two-stoppers that just didn't make it through, and that has cost them, whereas the guys who on the one-stop had a bit more clean air, could just get their head down, manage their tyres, manage their fuel. It was a real struggle for those one-stoppers, though. I've got to give it to them. All of the one-stoppers were running on 3 or 4 0% tyres at the end of that race, which is absolutely nuts to me to be driving around a high-speed circuit with 0 tyres. So hats off to all the one-stoppers that made that work. But yeah, whoa, what a race.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have a look at the results for that one, even though we've just called them out over the microphone. But this is how that race shaped up in the end there. Budsy does the one stop and takes P1 for ISA Esports in the Porsche. Great race for Budsy. Daz also on the one stop, takes P2, and Bumcrack tried the two stop, got the fastest lap, but was unable to take that P1 and surrenders his position, has to settle for P3. Freelix in P4 what team is that? Respawn Esports. I wanted to say Ascension Racing, but they're no longer Ascension. They have changed to Respawn for this season. And Boybegum in P5 loses a couple points in the championship table to Bumcrack. Carbonboy in P6 for Obsession Motorsports. P7 is Gur. Stranger in P8. Shiza in P9. Black Project in P10. Kill on Loose 11th. Sizzling Sausage in 12th. And that's how things shape up here tonight in Division 3.
Oh, that was a glorious race. I love it when two strategies unstitch themselves at the start. Or actually, in this case, the strategies seem to stay really consistent, except for Bumcrack, who started on the soft tyre, which was very, very interesting little development. That didn't cost him at all. I think it was a really good strategy. The problem for Bumcrack is that he just ended up in way too much traffic at the end, and same for Boybegum. Both of them starting P1 and P2 respectively, down in 3rd and 5th place, split by one stoppers, and it's that traffic that has made the difference today. Boybegum was stuck behind Carbonboy for 4 or 5 laps there, but yeah, hats off to Budsy today. He managed his strategy well. He kept in the slipstream at the early parts of this race, managed his medium tyres to I think it was about lap 14 or so, and then went 10 laps, which is very impressive on the soft tyres. So a great job from the Porsche driver and ISA Esports, and of course their maiden win here in Sector 1. That is going to be some champagne bottles being opened in their pit garage today.
Yeah, I might duck down to the ISA garage and
I'll
see
be
the big smile on Diabolus's face.
Yeah, he's going to be absolutely stoked. I'm looking forward to that too, actually.
The big party down at ISA Esports after a magnificent win for Budsy. Very, very confident in the end there. 6 seconds. Oh, great stuff from Budsy. So now we have a couple of Driver of the Day submissions here in the chat. As we see... Robert Rice says Driver of the Day, Budsy. The Womble should go to Budsy for sure. Epic Drive says Karen Unleashed. Bumcrack says congratulations Budsy and Daz. Great race, guys. So who do you think you give your Driver of the Day to here? Crazy Good Kung Fu?
Oh, it's a tricky one for me, of course. I will be upfront with everyone in chat. I drive in Division 2 for ICE Sports, so of course I've got a little bit of bias going on. I think the one-stoppers did fantastically well overall. I'm going to go out on a limb here, though, I'm going to congratulate Budsy on my own. I think he probably will get Driver of the Day, but I'm going to do a little bit of a shout-out here. My Driver of the Day today is going to be Freelix. He drove with 0% on 3 tyres for about 3 laps, and that is very impressive to keep the car on track in a Supra and then also stay in P4. So my Driver of the Day is going to be Freelix, but I think Budsy's going to take the Driver of the Day overall today.
Absolutely. It's going to be a tight one as we see a couple more Driver of the Day submissions coming in. Driver of the Day Budsy from Debrev, Driver of the Day Budsy from Safe Cycling Australia. I'm not too sure who that is. Is that... Please name yourself Safe Cycling Australia.
Yeah, well, it's always good to be safe when you're cycling, so, you know.
Yeah, good PSA
positive
there.
vibes. Yeah.
Driver of the Day Freelix from Blind Man, I should say. That's a good call as well.
And how about you, Lenocis? Who's your Driver of the Day today?
I mean, it's got to go to Budsy. First win, magnificent drive, won by 6 seconds, made the strategy work, and magnificent stuff from Budsy to get that win for ISA Esports. It's going to be a moment to remember for the ISA team. Race to remember, day to remember. This one will go down in Sector 1 history.
Yeah, I think we need to note how close this could have gotten if Bumcrack had not got caught up in so much traffic earlier on. Same with Boy Begum. They would have been right up there challenging for the victory here today. So, a couple of, I think, honourable mentions for Bumcrack and Boy Begum, and Daz as well, because Daz getting a P2, managing the tyres on the BRZ very, very well. He had a great start. So honourable mentions for the top 5. I think they all did fantastic job.
Yeah, so... Safe Cycling Australia says, what am I saying? Driver of the Day Womble. I have a feeling that that's Womble. I think.
There's a small hint there. In typical Womble style, giving the Womble award to Womble. Standard practice.
Alright, so I think we should head towards our 10-minute break, our little breather for our streaming team. Let our Division 1 drivers get ready for their race. Of course, 8:15 is the scheduled time for the Division 1 qualifying, as we see on our track schedule on screen at the moment, and 8:30 for their race. But if my calculations are correct, we should be going at about 8:25 for the Division 1 qualifying, just to let you all know. That should be when the Division 1 guys hit the track. But once again, thank you, CGK, for all your efforts in the commentary box. It was nice having you here, and I'm sure everybody in the YouTube chat is grateful for the work you put in the comm box.
My absolute pleasure, and a big thank you, of course, to you, Lenocis, for all the hard work you do on the broadcasting side. I think you've been debugging a large series of technical issues with a replay while you're doing commentary, and that's no small feat. You're triple tasking right now. Very impressive. But pleasure as always, mate, and we'll catch everyone in chat next time.
Thank you. So, before we head to our break for our Division 1, guys, if you haven't already, smash that like button. We're currently sitting at 8 likes. I ask it every week, but it really does help, guys. It makes YouTube see us better, and it pushes us to more people, which means that Sector 1 can grow as a racing league, and that's always a good thing. So, just support us, guys, and good things will come, as they say. So that's everything from Lenocis and CGK for now, as we'll head to our 10-minute intermission, and we'll be right back with the Division 1ers. Catches. Hello everybody, welcome back from our intermission, our 10-minute intermission. And we are here, of course, for our Division 1 drivers here at Watkins Glen International Motor Racing Circuit here at New York. And what a race we had in Division 3. And can these Division 1 guys live up to the hype of that Division 3 race? I guess we're about to find out. Qualifying is about to get underway. So looking forward to the next hour and a bit of racing action that we're about to have. And joining me in the commentary box once again, as with I think every race this season, is Carbonboy. How are we doing, Carbonboy?
As always, rather warm and sweaty after that race, but you know, that's how it goes. It's all fun and games until you lose a large percentage of your body weight and fluids. And yeah, looking forward to tonight's Div 1 racing.
Yeah. So leading the way in our Division 1 championship at the moment is Geesh for Respawn Esports and GTR, who is P2. Now these two they're not here for tonight's race. So that begs the question, who is going to show up? Who's going to step up and win this race? But looking further down in the championship, it's Morgan Davey in P3 for Deeds Racing, Captain Muffin in P4, Atom in P5, Woody in 6th, Ricky Bobby in P7, Young Wakey in P8, HC Lewis in 9th, Blind Man 10th, Corey Hack 11th, Scar 12th, Hellraiser 13th, and Niff 14th. Now we've had a bit of news from Niff, unfortunately. He will have to step aside from Sector 1 after only one race, I believe, due to personal commitments, but it's not always great. But what can you do? And Black Rose will be needing a new driver in the top split, I believe. So condolences go out to Niff, and we hope to see him back racing in Sector 1 once again. But for now, the qualifying is about to get underway here in our Division 1 qualifying session. It looks like we're just waiting on one, maybe two drivers to ready up before we get into the
We are
session.
currently waiting on one driver. It seems like there might be a bit of a breakdown in the RMR garage. Not sure if they can get that car started and moving. If they could, it would be great.
Potentially an ECU failure or a fluids leak.
Honestly,
Oh,
I don't know.
Corey.
Come on, let's go.
Click the big green button, Corey. Corey.
Mr. Womble, if you could please get your driver onto the grid, that would be appreciated.
Oh, it looks like he's in. Is he?
There we go, rightio.
Yeah.
Let us get this underway.
Let's get this show on the road.
The operation cannot be completed because some players are still initializing. I swear if I read that one more time.
Who's initializing?
That
So
is a really good question.
It looks like Gran Turismo has gifted us some really nice servers for tonight's race, but in return they've given us initializing glitches. Lovely.
Yeah. Okay, I am just going to reboot the lobby.
Uh-oh. Okay, so might just have a little chat in the meantime.
Sorry about this.
The lobby is reset. It's not always good to have to reset the lobby mere minutes before lights out, but I mean, Gran Turismo doing Gran Turismo things. I thought we were finally blessed with a good lobby, but no, apparently not. So I might take the time to read some of the chat. So it says, we see a couple of people in chat. We got Petey Pops, Karen, Robert Rice, Womble and his cycling association, Debrev, Blind Man, Atom. Oh, Atom as well from Division 3. He's given his driver of the day to Bumcrack, which, I mean, great job to Bumcrack as well. He tried the 2-stop, but couldn't quite get to the end there and take the race win, unfortunately. We have Mid-Pack Hack, which I believe is Freelix. We have Dadson and Crazy Good Kung Fu, Gur, Tyrone Borg. That's a name I don't recognize. As the lobby should be being chucked up fairly soon, isn't it, Carbonboy?
It is back up, and the drivers are making their way in as we speak.
Okay.
Gotta love it when Gran Turismo does Gran Turismo things.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, as we're waiting on all the drivers to enter the lobby. Sorry for the delay, everybody, but we should be getting underway momentarily in the Division 1 Watkins Glen Round 6 race.
So, how was the Div 3 race from a spectator's point of view?
Good.
Good. It's a very complex and in-depth analysis there.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very fun race to watch. Lots of moves up and down the field and competing strategies everywhere. And it turned out that the 1-stop was the better way to go in the end for the podium positions.
Do you think we'll see anything like that in this race, or are you thinking everyone's going to run the same strategy?
We often see in Division 1 that this category is a lot more mathematically backed, I want to say, calculations driven. These guys, they like to put in the time and figure out all the numbers before a big race, and we see it here tonight, potentially, that these guys, they might know which way to go, and I expect the Division 1 guys, they often run to a number, and I think we're going to see that again here tonight. A lot of guys are saying 1-stop's the way to go. Will we see a 2-stop after the Div 3 race? I'm not too sure. I don't think we'll see the 2-stop come into effect with these guys, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. That's what these guys do, these Division 1ers. They always...
Well, I have 9 drivers in the lobby and ticked in, minus Geesh and GTR. Is that all we are expecting tonight?
There should be 11. So, there's Corey Hack.
We have a Corey Hack
Yes.
now. So
And
that makes
somebody else
10.
is joining. There we go, blind
And a
man's
blind
in.
man. There we go.
Yeah.
It did look a little short on drivers.
Yeah, because we're missing Nif, Geesh, and GTR.
Right, so as soon as these 2 drivers are in, we will punch that big button, get qualifying underway, and get the action started for all the viewers who are, I'm sure, sitting there very patiently. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Please be patient.
As Nismo Nath said it best, no GTR and no Geesh. What a way to shake up Div 1. Absolutely. This is going to be a ripper of a race. It's anyone's, it's up for anyone, really. Could Adam step up? Could Lewis step up? Could Muffin step up after his good form in Interlagos? Could Woody step up even? Potentially Ricky Bobby, Morgan Davey. Oh my goodness, what livery has he got on?
And we're about to find out as qualifying is getting underway as we speak.
And
now
qualifying is a go.
I believe that Morgan Davey has once again changed his livery to suit a particular type of beer brought out by Deeds Brewing Company.
Oh no, Morgan.
yes, he's done that. He's done it a few times this round. This season. And if I can just...
I thought for a second that it was an Aussie Hampton livery. We haven't seen an Aussie Hampton livery since Season 5 of Sector 1 in the Porsches.
No, this livery is based off Deeds Brewing currently available release called the Post Workout.
The Post
It
Workout?
is. Yeah, I don't know about it, but it is a pastry imperial sour with an 8% alcohol content. So I'm not sure how I feel about that description.
being called the post-workout, I thought it might taste of sweat and tears potentially.
Oh, that's a very salty beer. I'm not sure how I feel about that at all.
Salty and sour beer. That's a tough one.
Either way, he is currently taking a similar strategy to myself during qualifying, and just getting off the throttle, letting other people nick off, get out of his way, give himself some clear track.
As we've seen throughout the season, Morgan Davey, he loves the open space in qualifying, and it's not that rare to see him go out a minute or so after the rest of the drivers, just because he enjoys that open air. However, I believe his team boss, Karen, has told him, you're wasting a couple of tenths or so by not being out on track for that extra minute with the fuel. So Morgan Davey, I think he's listened to his team, and he's reluctantly gone out when all the other drivers go out in the traffic. But with this Division 1 field being as tight as it is, you don't have a lot of traffic anyway. It's mostly closed up and tight racing action, even in the qualifying session. Bumper to bumper kind of stuff. As we look up to turn 4 now, Ricky Bobby from Session Motorsports leads the way ahead of Young Wakey in the Kraken Esports car. Woody in P3, for Brockio 5 Sim Racing, Muffin in 4th, Lewis in 5th for Hooncorp, Atom in 6th, Blind Man 7th for Dadson, Morgan Davey 8th, as we've said, Hellraiser in 9th for Brockio 5 Sim Racing, Corey Hack in 10th, Scar rounds out in 11th. As these guys will be completing their first flying laps now, as we see. It looks like, for the moment, that Morgan Davey has held off against Hellraiser. He's actually a little bit of a gap. So expect Morgan Davey to come in at the start of this qualifying session roughly on even terms with Hellraiser, but slightly ahead. As we look up to Ricky Bobby, sets the first lap time, 43.4. That is rapid immediately at the start of the session. Young Wakey can only muster a 44.5. Woody into P2. Atom can only go second fastest here, 4 tenths off. Turtle goes into 9th position. No, where is Turtle? Yeah, 9th position for Hellraiser. But Ricky Bobby immediately to the top of the timing tables, the Obsession Motorsports driver. He's been doing this all season, the dark horse driver in this Division 1 pack. You ride him off until the last moment, and then he just goes and takes the pole. But as it stands, provisional pole position for the Obsession Motorsports driver.
Speak for yourself, mate. I will never write him off. Yeah, we've got to be careful here. We can't be too biased towards our teammate. Going to give him a bit of a G up though. Get in there, Ricky Bobby. He's taking full advantage of the absence created by, or the void created by the absence of two of the quicker drivers in Div 1, shall we say? So he's not hesitating to step up to the plate.
So I was talking with Atom before this race, and he predicted a 43.5 for pole position potentially in this Division 1 field. Now Ricky Bobby has come out and smashed that, a 43.471 for the first lap. So Adam, you've been written off immediately, mate. But let's see what happens throughout this session. Currently sitting on the front row is Atom, and he's 200ths down on his lap time. Let's see if he's able to improve on this second flyer, or does he peel into the pits? May come with an invoice, a little bit wide through that penultimate corner. No, I think he's just nailed the track limits there. Let's see what it's going to be. Can he improve? Oh, 43.8 does improve by 200ths. Saves 400ths in the final sector there. Closes the gap to 3.5 tenths to Ricky Bobby. Scar peels into the pits now. As Hellraiser goes around again. Ricky Bobby, Atom, and Hellraiser, the three that do go around again. And somebody else, it looks like Young Wakey is that other driver that goes around again. And Blind Man, by the looks. As I would imagine these top, the top two plus Hellraiser and Young Wakey to pit on this lap, as there's currently less than 4 minutes of this session remaining. So expect to see them
I
into
wonder.
the pits.
I wonder whether it's entirely worthwhile going into the pits and getting a fresh set of boots, because you're only going to get 6 laps, maybe, or 6 laps in qualifying, and I don't think the tyres have will degrade too much by that point to have a negligible loss of lap time, especially when you're burning fuel at such a rapid rate as well.
I
So
believe Ricky Bobby is just using this lap as an in-lap to burn as much fuel as possible before he peels into the pits, which he does. And so does Adam, because he was 7 tenths down coming to that final corner. But let's see the fuel split between Atom and Ricky Bobby as Adam peels into the pits. As crosses the line. That may come with an invoice.
Just
62%.
not sure if they're doing themselves a disservice. 1% fuel difference as they come into the pits.
But the big story is Atom. Will he receive a penalty for his antics?
Was he a bit of a naughty boy on the pit entry?
Yeah, a little bit. He was on the yellow line, not over it, but on it.
It is a tricky pit entry on this track, and the pit exit as well. If you haven't got a little bit of steering lock on, the game will spit you. The game will spit you out straight across the pit exit line and hand you a 3-second penalty. As Captain Muffin is coming in hot.
He is on a flying lap as well, so Adam will have to peel out of the way. And he does.
Yep. Good man.
Also doesn't want to give Captain Muffin too much of a tow, as Muffin proving to us last race at Interlagos that he is a force to be reckoned with. 2 minutes remaining in this session.
Having spoken with Muffin earlier in the week and earlier tonight, I can say with some degree of confidence that that first chicane is not his favourite part of this track at all. He's not a particularly happy camper in the McLaren at that section. The rest of the track he seems okay with, just that first chicane not going well.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see in the background, Adam peeling off to the side to let, I believe that's, that it would be...
H.C. Lewis.
Yes. And the Rocky 05 car of Woody, who is currently sitting in P3, so brilliant outing for him. As we see Ricky Bobby, he rounds the final corner to start his last flying lap in this session. So that is really 2 flying laps. That's all he gets. Down into the first braking zone, gets the car turned in, not using as much of that entry curve as he could have. Massive moment, that might be the lap over before it's even really begun. Now the long flat out section to the top of the track, the bus stop chicane. The Supra, this is the strongest part.
H.C. Lewis just casually puts himself into P3.
What a lap from Lewis there to edge himself onto the second row of the grid. Yeah, Ricky Bobby is 1.8 tenths down already. So, not a great start to the lap.
I do believe this will be the final lap for pretty much everybody.
Absolutely. As Atom is purple. That's big news for the Respawn Esports driver. Where have we seen this before? Ricky Bobby and Adam on the front row together. And that is the final lap of the session, as we're getting confirmation from the stewards as we speak.
Nürburgring GP, if my memory serves me correct.
Absolutely, that was a ripper of a first qualifying session of the season for these Division 1 boys. As Adam comes into the boot now, barreling down towards the boot, the heel. And he's purple by 600ths, 700ths. This could be the lap for Adam, the pole position. Into the braking zone of the heel. Gets on the power early, can't run too wide. That may be too wide, that might be the lap over. He might come with an invoice. And what's it going to be?
He's gotten away with that.
Oh, huge moment, that might be the lap gone. He's still purple somehow. 500ths of a second.
That moment may have just cost him.
And now into the final corner.
Limits.
One more corner.
on the power. Can he get the lap done? 41, 42, 43. It's not going to be enough. Goes P2.
He
And that
will be
looks-
cursing.
That looks like Morgan Davies still on a lap, but I think that's pole position for Ricky Bobby. He's second of the season. No,
Nice
best
work,
Morgan
Ricky
Davies can
Bobby.
do is P5. And that should be the session done. It's all over. Wowee. Ricky Bobby takes a second pole position of the season in the top split of Sector 1. Magnificent stuff from the Obsession Motorsports driver, proving why he's a part of this grid.
It appears someone may have been a bit of a naughty boy and exited back to the pits.
I believe it's okay by the stewards if you're already in the pit lane. But we'll have to we'll have to see what the stewards have to say about that one.
Let me just grab a couple of screenshots of the results for my records. And we will get this show on the road.
So let's have a look at the official quali results for that qualifying session here. So Ricky Bobby from Obsession Motorsports takes pole position. It's a Supra front row lockout, I should say, with Adam joining him alongside, coming so close. However, making that mistake, coming onto the main part of the track again for Adam, which saw him lose about 1/10 of a second, which ultimately was the deciding factor in that pole position battle. Lewis takes P3. Hellraiser in P4 for Brocchio 5 Sim Racing. It's a BRZ 456 with Morgan Davey and Diswood completing that trio. Scar in P7, Captain Muffin in P8, Young Wakey in P9, Corey Hack P10, and Blind Man will come home in P11 to round out the grid for tonight. So wow, what a magnificent session. That had it all. The massive fight at the top between Ricky Bobby and Adam. Adam having one hand on the pole position but unable to do so. It's going to be a good race up ahead.
Don't know about you, Lenocis, but I am keen. Should we get this underway?
I think we should. That sounds like an excellent idea, Carbonboy.
Alright, smashing the button. Let's get this thing going because I am keen to see who does what in terms of strategy and how it works out for them.
Absolutely. As we head to the track at the moment to watch the start of the Division 1 race. And here we are. These guys waiting patiently for the light sequence to start. It has 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, revs rising. They're out and away we go here at Watkins Glen in Division 1. Ricky Bobby gets off to a good start, but he's immediately swamped by, huge contact down the inside. It looks like Ricky Bobby's going to hold it, but around the outside sweeps Lewis around Atom as these guys barrel down on the long run towards turn 4. Looks like everybody's held their line through turn 2 and 3, and it looks like no contact for now. Gets shuffled out wide there, Captain Muffin, as he drops the position to Young Wakey potentially as well. Young Wakey goes down the inside of both of them, 3 wide into the bus stop. As Ricky Bobby drops to P3, the 2 sister team drivers go through to P1 and 2. Getting edged out wide in the background there is
kicking off here
Blind Man.
in 8th.
Oh, wow. So much battling for position here as we missed that move for the lead. Adam and Lewis overtaking Ricky Bobby in P3. Then we see Morgan Davey getting the better of the 2 Brocchio 5 Sim. Somebody's gone round in the background there. Who's that? That's Blind Man gone. The Datsun driver out of this race so early. Oh, dear. As we'll try and have a look on the Next Level Racing action replay. Let's hope that it has been fixed. It has, as we continue on. And we just saw in the background, what was it? We had lost it before he even got to the corner. Oh dear, that looked like a bit of an issue at the top of the hill, potentially just spinning out the rears there through that sweeper. as we see Scar on the back of Diswood. 4P6 now. Chaos ensuing at the start of this race. But Adam holds the lead on the first lap. 1:51 the first lap here as they begin the second lap. Ricky Bobby not giving up the fight yet as he's 4 tenths behind Lewis now. And the battle pack behind him, the rest of the field sitting behind Ricky Bobby, 8 tenths to the good.
Well, I'm just having a look up and down the field in regards to who's using what tyres. And while Ricky Bobby's dropped a couple of spots, he may not be as disadvantaged by that as he may think, because there's someone running my favourite tyres in front of him. And the guys behind him, it's actually an intriguing mix of tyre compounds and who's doing what. I'll be completely honest and I say I have absolutely no idea what the guys from, well, P4 down will be doing in terms of strategy. I like to think I've got a fairly good idea of what the top 3 are doing, but as for the rest of the field, yeah, I got nothing.
As we see a move between Captain Muffin on Young Wakey and Scar on Morgan Davey as well. Oh, both of those moves get completed there. Morgan Davey and Scar still fighting away, a little bit of contact, but I think it's clean.
Morgan Davies is arguing the point and saying, no, you want that position, you're taking it the hard way, around the outside.
As we see a bit of argy-bargy between these two, but they keep it honest. As we start the third lap for Atom now. As we see a move.
Having a look.
Oh, these guys still going at it. Gets the move done, gets it pulled up, and that should be the move done for Scar on Morgan Davey. Catch that on the next level racing action replay as he chucked it down the inside. Easy as you like move for Scar, textbook stuff.
So Ricky Bobby using the slipstream on HC Lewis to go on past down the front straight. Easy as you like.
As Scar continuing his forward momentum, wants to overtake Lewis sooner or later. As we see Morgan Davey under threat from Hellraiser behind as well. Scar chucks it down the inside. Massively opportunistic move from Scar to get himself up into the podium places on Lewis. As we'll catch that on the next level racing action replay once again. As they came through towards turn 5, he just chucked it down the inside, had full faith in the tyres gripping up. And now he's going on the move on Ricky Bobby. Gets it done. Oh my goodness, he's made up 5 position, and we see Young Wakey on Hellraiser in the background there as well. These guys not shy to make a move in tonight's race.
I'm going to put in my prediction right here, right now. Scar's doing a 2-stop.
I mean, he's using up a lot of those tyres to make these moves stick, but Ricky Bobby arguing the point side by side for these two. Has to settle behind, but he's going to have the slipstream down the pit straight.
Not just tyres, but if Scar keeps driving the way he's going to have to 2-stop for the amount of fuel he's using.
As Young Wakey gets the move done on... Oh! Has to step out there! That's Woody in the background. No! Hellraiser! Oh dear! That's huge drama! As we check on the next level racing action replay at what just happened there, down into turn 1, it looked like in the background, so he was going to run at the back of the Hooncorp driver there, but had to settle behind in the end there.
Bit of a mid-pack battle here with 6, 7 and 8 with Diswood, Lewis and Captain Muffin. Unfortunately, Lewis picking up a half a second invoice through the first chicane, but these guys are having a right ring-a-ding of a battle. And
absolutely.
They're all on the same compound of tyre, so all's fair with these guys. Whether they're running the same strategy or not, no idea.
Morgan Davey under a lot of pressure from Young Wakey. Young Wakey just showed the nose heading up into the start of the boot, the toe of the boot, but unable to get the move done there. So now Morgan Davey has
Lewis,
to argue a question.
As Lewis serves his penalty, very opportunistic move by Corey Hack, just slides on through and makes his way up to P7.
Very nice from Corey Hack. Having a bit of a quiet start to this race, Corey Hack, but finds himself in a very respectable P7 in this pack. As we approach lap 5, I think we don't keep it, the audience waiting any longer. I reckon we get into our APR Tyre and Fuel update. What do you think, Carbonboy?
Sure, why not? Let's get it done. So, up in front, we've got Atom running on the Racing Soft compound. Well, this track absolutely chews the left-hand side, so I'm not going to bother mentioning the right-hand side. His front and rear left-hand tyres are fairly equally worn at about the 30% wear mark, and he has, give or take, 65% left of fuel in the tank. Scar in P2 is slightly harder on his front left tyre, sort of around the 50% worn mark, and he's pretty much equal on fuel to Adam. Ricky Bobby is also on the Racing Softs. He's looking after his tyres quite well in comparison to the two in front of him. He's got maybe 30% wear on the front rear tyres on the left-hand side, and is doing quite well in terms of fuel. He's about the 70% mark.
Young Wakey serves a penalty as well, drops back behind Morgan Davies. Sorry to interrupt you there.
That's fine. That is fine. Morgan Davies now in P4 is on the Racing Medium compound, and they're not wearing much at all. He's got maybe 15% on the front, 10% on the rear. He is a bit lower on fuel at this point. He's about 55% left in the tank, right on his bumper, and I'll get that done nice and quick. It's about 52% fuel is Young Wakey. He's hammering that front left tyre though. He's past 50% worn, so he might be looking at the two-stop kind of strategy.
Oh, as Muffin hits the wall in the background there as well. Oh, ouch
dear.
for Muffin.
Diswood.
Huge contact between Young Wakey and Morgan Davey. Morgan Davey tries around the up. Wakey gets down the inside, but unable to do so there. As we have a look at the Next Level Racing action replay at that one. As we just see Young Wakey get it down the inside. A little bit of contact with Morgan, but holds out for now.
That is a Racing Soft versus a Racing Medium difference. Back to where I was. Woody is on the Racing Medium compound. Probably about 25-30% wear on the front, maybe 10% on the rear. He's sitting on about 55% fuel. Morgan Davies is looking down the inside of Young Wakey through the midsection.
As he gets it done. Does he get it done? That's a great question.
Around the outside, around that up. Switchback. There. Very sideways. Very sideways.
A little bit of a flash of the lights as well.
Yeah, he's probably not particularly happy about that turn one move.
As he
Woody
goes
Hey, Woody. Smart move, mate, backing out of that. That was not the time.
As now that's bringing Corey Hack and Captain Muffin into things as well.
Speaking of, Corey Hack is dead on half a tank of fuel and dead on 50% wear on his Racing Soft tyres. Captain Muffin is also just creeps below half a tank of fuel at this point, and he is doing quite well on the Racing Medium tyres. He's probably only 30% worn front and rear. Lewis is doing quite well for fuel at this stage. He's still on about 65% left in the tank, and on the Racing Medium compound, the front left is about 40% worn, maybe 15-20% on the rear. Mr. Turtle in the Boxer running the Racing Medium compound, dead on half a tank of fuel, maybe 30% wear on the front left, 15% wear on the rear, and then finally, unfortunately, a little bit behind, bringing up the rear of the pack is Blind Man with about 50% wear on the front tyre of his Racing Mediums, and about 30% wear on the rear. Looking somewhat good for fuel at about 55% at this stage.
So that concludes the tyre and fuel update.
Mr. Atom out on front is not mucking about, kicking out to a 7, nearly 8-second lead.
Very, very pacey at the start of this race, Atom is. With an 8-second lead. I mean, could he potentially do the one stop in this pace? That's the big question, but oh, it's a very big question. Massive question mark over whether he could make the one stop work. Might have to go the 2. And Scar as well has pulled 3 seconds over Wakey, who's made his way past Ricky Bobby.
I'm just keeping an eye on these guys.
Soft tyres, I believe. And the first of the medium runners is Morgan Davey, is it not?
That is correct.
So Morgan Davey might be in prime position for the race win here, depending on how much of his car he uses. The Deeds, historically not being a very conservative car, despite being in the BRZ, but I mean, it's Deeds, so could he go for the one stop? I'm going to say he could.
I think in the next 2 laps we're going to find out who's doing a 2-stop and who's doing a 1-stop.
Absolutely. Now is the pit window for the soft tyre on the 2-stop as he peels out to go down the inside of Ricky Bobby's Supra. Gets the move done on Ricky Bobby, promotes himself up into P4. And that puts Ricky Bobby under pressure.
He's also going to have Corey Hack and Captain Muffin to deal with very soon.
Yeah, puts Ricky Bobby under pressure to those 2 behind. And, I mean, as you said at the start, Ricky Bobby, it seems like he's on more conservative strategy. So naturally, you'd expect him to fall a couple of positions down. Currently lost 4 positions in this race, but we've got to see what happens as Muffin runs wide. Might come with an invoice from the stewards. Looks like he has got away with it for now. As the 2 Brocchio 5 sim racing cars are on track next to each other at the moment, with Lewis sitting behind them. What's happened to Lewis? I swear he was up the top earlier on, wasn't he?
He was a little bit higher up the grid.
Oh, as Scar pulls the trigger. He's into the pits. So does young Wakey and Captain Muffin. These must be the 2 stoppers at this point of the race. Particularly Captain Muffin, because there's no way you could make those tyres last 15 laps. Those soft tyres.
Well, Captain Muffin was on the mediums.
Yeah, so he's going to be on the softs for 15 laps now if he wants to one stop.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That is not going to happen. Not in the McLaren.
As they roll out of pit lane now. Looking back up front to Atom, he has a 13-second gap over Morgan Davey. And he still looks like he's going strong. How are the tyres and fuel looking for Atom?
What tyres would probably be the accurate assessment. The left-hand side is the barest amount of tread left on.
So expect him to be in this lap unless he's trying to force the one stop.
I foresee him forcing the one stop and he's going around for a 10th lap.
It's going to be a tough one, but let's keep tabs with what he does as he's approaching the pit entry as he rounds the penultimate corner now. And what's it going to be for Adam? Goes around again.
Going around again. What about Mr. Morgan? What does he have in mind?
As he goes
around again. Mr. Corey Hack also goes around again.
Around again, all the way down to Blind Man. He'll be the next to make the decision.
Mr. Blind Man, unfortunately, having that first lap incident, sort of bit of a sad case. Have your race gone so early, but full credit to him for soldiering on and trying to salvage whatever result he can get out of this round.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're still unsure whether it was his own doing or as a result of contact. like to think it was the former, but we can't draw any conclusions until a steward's report or enquiry has been made into the matter.
Exactly, something like that is, yeah, I'm not touching it.
As the two Rockio 5 sim racing cars making their way onto the back of Ricky Bobby for 4th position on track. As they head down from the toe of the boot on the chute down towards the heel. And the straight line speed of that Supra just seems to be a little bit too much for the two Rockio 5 sim racing cars on this occasion.
So here's a fun fact for you. Atom's going around again.
Ooh, so 11 laps on the set of softs. But you can see
His
that gap to
tyres-
Morgan Davey coming down.
His tyres are completely cooked.
So he's definitely going for the one stop, or at least trying for the one stop. But has he used too much of his tyre? That's the big question.
Well, if by too much you mean all of it, it is completely red, not a shred of white left on the left-hand side. Yes, he has.
And he does currently have the fastest lap in hand as Ricky Bobby pulls the trigger on the tyres.
And he has brimmed the tank. So, what has he got in mind here? Ooh, he's trying something different. I don't think I've seen him mention this strategy before. Oh wait, never mind. GT was doing GT things and giving me incorrect information as to what he is doing.
Wait, how much has he got in the tank?
He has filled the tank, and I do believe he is going for the one stop.
Yeah, okay. As Atom's gap is down to just 11.5 seconds to Morgan Davey now, whose tyres must be screaming on their own. Or getting close to screaming.
Sorry, who was that? Morgan?
Morgan Davey's tyres must be getting low as well, wouldn't they?
They're getting low, but being the mediums, they've got a little bit of life left in them.
As Adam pulls the trigger.
His bigger concern right now is Morgan has a fuel light on. So, will he come into the pits as well? Not by the look of it. He's going around again for a 12th lap, which makes me suspect he's also going to go for the one stop, but push for a 12th lap on the soft tyres.
Corey Hack is in, and he was wide through the pit lane entry. So could that come with a 3-second invoice?
Oh no. That will hurt if it does.
As Morgan Davey inherits the lead from Atom with a 3-second gap to Diswood behind. Where is Atom going to come out on track though? That's the big question. Will he come out ahead of... No, he's behind Captain Muffin Scar, and... Oh, is he going to get done by Young Wakey? Yes, he is. So that's massive traffic for Atom. That's not what you need at this stage of the race. The two stop runners have held him up.
Now, Young Wakey's on the same compounded tyre as Adam, but he's got a lap or two on top of them, so he's already got them up to temperature. At the same time, he's got a couple of laps extra wear on them, which might be a factor later on in the closing laps of this race.
Absolutely. As we head around for the 12th time, Morgan Davey, you said he was on the fuel light last lap. I imagine we'd be seeing him in this lap, surely.
He would be crazy not to. There is barely anything left in the tank as he's hugging the right-hand side of the track. Yep, there we go. He's in.
As Corey Hackett looks like he's got away without a penalty on that pit entry line. So good news for Red Mist driver. As those BRZs sounding absolutely incredible as they're sitting there idling in the pit lane. As Lewis takes the lead of the race, albeit with a half-second penalty and with a pit stop in hand.
That is correct. Lewis is still yet to pit.
And Muffin, the first of the two stoppers by the looks, ahead of Scar in P3, Wakey in P4, and wow, Blind Man ahead of Atom. So that's even bigger for Atom. His race may be crumbling.
Just bear in mind that Blind Man is on completely bald front mediums and has yet to pit.
Oh, okay. Oh yes,
But
of course. He had the lap one
That
instant.
will be a factor for Adam because may get held up by Blind Man, who's well, or maybe not.
Gets out the way. Indicator was on.
Well, there was a little bit of getting out of the way and a little bit of understeer due to having no front left tyre.
I'm fairly certain I saw the indicator, so...
Oh, no, the indicator was on, but he did go wide in that corner. I don't think he really had much of a choice. But
he was going to run wide
fair
anyway.
Play to him. He was doing the right thing while having a bad time. So full credit to him. Well done, Blind Man.
As Ricky Bobby in P7, he is 16 seconds down the road from Adam. So, that may be too much of a gap for Ricky Bobby to chase down. Adam may have just sealed the deal with that using so much of his tyre early on in the race.
HC Lewis goes around again. Completely bald front medium tyres. Goes on for lap 14.
Maybe he only has confidence in 10 laps on the softs.
Wait, hold up. He's managed to burn out his front mediums in 13 lap. Wow.
That's not good for wear rates, Lewis, but we do know that the...
GTR, how brutal is that GTR on his front tyres?
Yeah.
Wow.
As we're getting close to the pit window for the two stoppers. Captain Muffin currently on lap 14 of the race with the fastest lap, mind you. So if that stands, he'll have another lap. He'll have extra point to his name, I should say.
He's doing well. 44.1, that is nothing to be sneezed at. Especially for race pace.
It's only 4/10 off the quali pace, if I remember correctly.
Weren't they doing a 43.4?
Yes, I'm getting confused with the Division 3 times, which was a 44.7.
Which is redonkulous, as it is. Yeah.
Also, I think I did mention this in the Division 3 race, but you were racing said race, so were unable to hear my comment. But and also to remind the viewers at home who may have missed that, the track limits at this track and penalties tied to that depends on the color of the line on the edge of the circuit. So if that line is white, it's your stock old standard. If you go over the line, it's a penalty, right? Now, if that line is yellow, it means you can use the curb. And that's what these guys are exploiting around this track. It's definitely on the curbs, like as this corner that Captain Muffin is coming up to after the bus stop, which is turn 4, the white line actually extends about halfway down the curb on the exit, as we see there, which means that that might actually be an invoice, as he crossed over onto the white line before it became yellow. But we'll have to wait and see. Might have got away with it. I think he has. But that's how the track limits are governed at this track by the Gran Turismo system. White, don't go over. Yellow, you can use the curb.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that information would have been pretty useful to me a couple of hours ago.
as he comes to the heel of the boot now, Captain Muffin. That gap to Lewis, about 4.5 seconds. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in this lap. Coming up to the penultimate corner.
Lap 15 of 24. No, he's going to go around again.
Indeed, he does.
As Lewis goes into the pits on absolutely zero fuel.
Smell of an oily rag, as you like to say.
I believe we will see Muffin in next lap though, because he's going onto the fuel light. How is Scar doing? Nice. Scar's going to be in for a second stop to get off those racing mediums, because I do not foresee him doing another 8 laps on less than a quarter of a tank of fuel. Same for young Wacky in P3 at the moment. He'll be in again to, I presume, slap on a fresh set of soft tyres. Atom, well, he's got a lot of fuel, probably about the 65-70% mark, and on the racing mediums, it's probably fair to say he's going to the end of the race. A little bit further behind is Woody, who has a very feisty Morgan Davies not far behind him. Woody's on the set of softs and with about 70% in the tank. Touch and go whether he's doing another stop.
Morgan Davies got a penalty.
He's been a naughty boy.
That is massive at this stage of the race, with Ricky Bobby and Hellraiser bearing down behind.
That's going to bring both of them back into it, because as we all know, having to get on the brakes for half a second is more than half a second penalty.
Oh. As Ricky Bobby, a little bit of contact between those two. Could Hellraiser stick it down the inside? Oh, Morgan Davey runs wide. Could be a penalty.
Oh, the hips are out. The elbows are out.
Looks like he has to settle for P7 at the moment, Ricky Bobby.
And Captain Muffin, Scar, and Young Wacky are all in the pits.
So Captain Muffin will be on the medium tyre now. As Ricky Bobby gets shoved out wide by Hellraiser, but Hellraiser slots back in behind. I believe that's a bit of a redress. Potentially.
That does look like a oops, my bad kind of maneuver. Good on him.
And now that gap to Morgan Davey ahead, out to 1 second, over 1 second. So slipstream, well, I was going to say is as good as lost, but the straight line speed of the Supra reels that that BRZ back into things.
Yeah, Supra versus BRZ straight line. Yeah, it's a little unfair sometimes, but just as casually, Morgan Davies does have the tyre advantage over Ricky Bobby.
But now's the crucial point of the lap for Morgan Davey. He's already out of that gap to 1.7 seconds, using the strengths of that BRZ to his advantage.
Just casually up at front, Atom, 12.5 seconds in front of Woody.
As Hellraiser gets it down the inside of Ricky Bobby now. Is he able to get the move done into the heel? Slams on the brakes. A little bit of contact, argy-bargy between these two, but he slides his way through on Ricky Bobby. Gets the move done there, Hellraiser. As we'll catch that one on the Next Level Racing action replay. Positions the car coming into the corner perfectly down the inside, and then gets him on the exit. Easy as you like for Hellraiser.
Now, while Hellraiser has the tyre advantage being on the softs, has a tyre advantage over Ricky Bobby at the moment, he's got another 6 laps to go. Seven laps to go, sorry. I'm not sure how he's going to go with the amount of wear he's currently got on those tyres as to how good are his lap times going to be compared to some not as worn racing mediums.
Yeah, absolutely. As we have a look back up front, the gap between Woody and Adam now at 11 seconds with 6 laps to go. Adam's pace is falling though. 46s is what he's setting at the moment. That might not be enough for compared to Woody behind, who is in the 44s. That's 2 seconds a lap. If it stays like this, he's on track for the win.
Oh, that Woody's front left tyre is going to be hating life in about 4 laps, though.
That's the crucial point of this race. Whether Woody can keep popping out those lap times compared to Adam. As Adam's 1.5 seconds down, this is going to be an even slower lap here. Maybe a high 45 for Adam. Let's see what it's going to be for him. No, it's going to be a 46. Only just though. That might not be quick enough for Adam. As we see Woody, what lap times it's going to be for him? 44 just. Only about a second between those two on the last lap. Might not be enough for Woody.
I'm just wondering whether Adam might think he's in a little bit of trouble for fuel. There's a fair bit of lift and coast and short shift going on.
Potentially, I mean, he's been on this set of tyres since lap 13, so he's already done a decent amount on the tyre, and I don't believe he full fueled at stop, so maybe going a little bit on the shorter side of things and having to take some evasive action with his driving, and might not be enough to keep Woody behind, so that gap's under 10 seconds now. 4 and a bit laps to go.
Short fueling in the pit stop, that could be a factor.
That might be what's given him such an advantage coming out of the pits as well, as that gap was upwards of about 16 seconds at one point there.
Trying to find a battle on track, and the best I can find is Lewis and Wacky in P8, P9, both of which are on fairly equally worn racing soft tyres.
Oh, as Wakey gets the inside line! Oh, I can't quite.
There is a bit of a fuel deficit, which he's probably got enough to make the end of the race, but
I believe that's the 2 versus 1 stop, is it not?
Good question. Yes, I believe Lewis was on the 1 stop.
And Captain Muffin is the first on the 1 stop. Wakey chucks it down the inside of Lewis at this stage of the race. Unable to get the move done into turn 1, but he's going to have the slipstream all the way up towards turn 4. Already alongside as they come through turn 3. Barreling down towards the bus stop chicane.
Just in front of them is Captain Muffin doing the same thing to Corey. Gets past Corey under brakes through the bus stop.
What a move from Muffin there to get himself up into P6.
Licks the stamp and sends it, but he's on the racing soft tyres, whereas Corey's on the medium. So while the McLaren doesn't usually have the straight line speed to overtake a Supra, he's sitting in the slipstream and then just nailed the brakes extremely late. Managed to get on by.
Lewis got lost the position to Scar as well, which we didn't quite catch, I believe in the exit of the bus stop. So that's massive for Scar. As Corey Hack is struggling for grip, under pressure from young Wakey now. Shucks it down the inside at the ankle.
Yeah, young Wacky on the racing softs versus Corey on the mediums. It's unfortunately that's a no contest.
Yeah, far superior grip has Captain Muffin, and Scar hoping to follow very, very soon past Corey Hack. Will he be able to get it done on this occasion? Actually, Scar's under a lot of pressure from Lewis. Could Lewis potentially go for the move? No, he does not. But Scar gets down the inside of Corey Hack, and Lewis will follow through. Side by side, these two. It's up to Scar to decide who he wants to give the slipstream to. It looks like he's giving it to Lewis. Will Lewis be able to get the move done? No, has to back out of Corey Hack. As we look back up front, that gap down to 8 seconds to Atom compared to Diswood. I mean, 3 and a bit laps to go. I don't really see Woody catching that. That's over 2 seconds a lap. And the current lap time deficit between the two is about a second. So he's only going to get to about 5 seconds striking distance of Atom.
This Lewis and Corey Hack battle is an absolute rip snorter. Gotta love it.
As Corey Hack gets it down the inside of Lewis, but Lewis holds it around the outside. Great stuff from Lewis to hold that position away from Corey Hack. So we catch that one on the Next Level Racing action replay. As, yeah, Corey Hack tried down the inside, but Lewis said, no, I will sweep around the outside, thank you very much, and hold my position.
Now the gap up front, it's come down to 8.4 seconds, but
Oh dear. It's
I
actually
don't think that's...
extended as well.
Oh, and Woody's got himself a half-second penalty to go with his completely bald front left tyre.
8 tenths down through the first sector. Oh,
and Morgan
dear.
Davies 2.1 behind him.
Has Diswood run out of tyres?
Oh, completely. The front left is completely bald.
Oh
He's
dear.
still got this and 2 more laps to go.
And what's Morgan looking like?
Not that much better, to be honest, but at this stage, any tyre advantage is an advantage.
And looking back up, Ricky Bobby, 2.5 seconds to Captain Muffin. Captain Muffin is on a charge.
Hellraiser, aka GK Turtle, also completely bald front left tyre.
That's massive in this race.
Ricky Bobby's probably got about 15% left on that front tyre. Captain Muffin is looking, well, Captain Muffin and Wacky are looking best for tyres out of all the guys on the softs, even through some of the guys in the mediums as well. So Captain Muffin might be able to sneak a spot from Ricky Bobby here if Ricky's not careful, as that has come down 6 tenths in that final sector alone. Oh boy, this is going to be on.
It's within striking distance, 2 seconds on that last lap alone. Captain Muffin treating this like a qualifying session. 44.8, 44.6, 44.3, and of course he holds the fastest lap. 3 tenths now, this could be it for Captain Muffin. Sneaks it down the inside of Ricky Bobby, and that should be the move done. I don't see Ricky Bobby fighting that into the bus stop. No, they do not. He doesn't argue the point, and Ricky Bobby concedes the position down to 6th spot now from pole position. Lap and a half to go. Wakey could get involved here as well, as he's actually made his way past Scar, believe it or not, young Wakey.
There's a sense of deja vu about that move, with an Obsession Motorsport Supra being overtaken in the dying stages of the race by a CP Motorsport McLaren. I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like I've seen that sometime recently.
Can't tell whether you're being sarcastic or...
P.S. Mr. Boy Bagoom, fantastic drive, mate. Well done. That was a great move around the outside. Yeah. Yeah, credit where credit's due. I don't like getting overtaken at the best of times, but he did very well. So anyway, sarcasm and credit giving aside, Ricky Bobby is now finding himself under a little bit of heat from young Wacky, who is coming in hot.
Ricky Bobby, who was once looking at a race win potentially, with 1 lap to go, is under a lot of pressure from young Wakey for P7. Is he able to hold off? I'm not too sure. As they barrel down towards the bus stop for the final time.
Morgan and Woody at the bus stop. It is bumper to bumper.
Oh dear, this is for the race here. The final scraps of the podium. Morgan Davey and Woody fighting it out. As young Wakey gets past Ricky Bobby for P6.
Who's also got HC Lewis right up his clacker. If you stay on the Woody Morgan battle, I'll keep an eye on our mate Ricky.
That sounds like a good idea. But as it stands, Atom has edged out another 3 seconds on Woody. And it looks like Woody, he's just got 1 and a bit more sectors to defend from Morgan Davey. This gives me Willow Springs vibes, these guys. Fighting it out in the States, as always. As we look across to Adam, who rounds the final corner and will take a massive win for Respawn Esports. In the absence of Geesh, will take another win here at Watkins Glen. And Woody, he's going to hold on over Morgan. 6 tenths.
Wacky's run out of fuel.
Oh
Wacky
no!
has run out of fuel.
As Woody crosses the line 2nd, Morgan 3rd, Hellraiser 4th, Captain Muffin 5th, Mega Drive from him, Lewis 6th, Scar 7th, and Ricky Bobby's dropped below both of them to finish in 8th. 9th will be Corey Hack, and 10th will be, or might not be Wakey actually, as it's gonna be a run towards the line. Will Blind Man get him? It's going to be so tight between these two. Nubby gets him. And that concludes the race.
I think not only was Ricky Bobby at a tyre disadvantage in the later stages of the race with the guys behind him coming in hot on the softs, he also looked to be in a little bit of fuel trouble there towards the end of the final lap.
Despite brimming it at the stop.
Yeah, the Supra can be quite the thirsty beast if you're not careful.
As we have a look at the points for tonight's race, Adam takes the win for Respawn Esports, a time of 43 minutes and 11 seconds with a best lap of a 1 minute 44.3. Woody takes P2 for Brocco 5 Sim Racing despite the tyre troubles, manages to hold out over the Deeds driver of Morgan Davey in P3. Hellraiser takes P4 to complete the BRZ trio of 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Muffin comes home in P5. The first of the 2 stoppers, a brilliant drive from Muffin, takes the fastest lap as well. Solidifies the extra point to his name. Scar takes P7 in the Supra, the second of... Oh no, Lewis takes P6. And Scar takes P7, the second of the 1 stoppers. Ricky Bobby in P8 from pole position. Corey Hack in P9. Young Wakey in P10. Running out of fuel, unfortunately. Was on for a P6 finish. And Blind Man finishes the race in P11 despite the antics at the start of the race, unfortunately, with that lap 1 incident. The stewards will be having a look at that if needed. Oh, so what do you think of that one, Carbonboy?
That was not as spicy as I was expecting, to be honest. It was. It turned out to be more of a long game kind of race, a bit of a slow burn, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these guys weren't afraid to go for moves, definitely, but there was a lot more running to a number than the Div 3 race, that's for sure. as we saw a lot of those guys trying to stretch their tires to try and make their strategies work, which for some it worked out in their favor. You saw Woody, who started, I believe, P5, and he's made his way all the way up to P2, despite absolutely crushing those tires. But he made it work. Congrats to him. That's good stuff.
And that's why I'm going to put forward for the driver of the day. My nomination goes to Diswood.
Yeah, as we have a lot in the a lot of submissions in the chat. We got driver of the day Woody from Debrev, Woody driver of the day from Bumcrack, and Nismo Nath said it best. Watkins Glen bringing the goods to Sector 1. But yeah, I think I'm going to give my drive of the day to Woody as well. It was a good drive for Woody. He just did everything right, pushed the strategy, and came out with a very respectable podium in this pack, despite missing some big names from the pack. But that does not tarnish that podium whatsoever. Great drive from Woody. As we see a couple more coming through, obviously drive of the day Womble. Is that even a question?
Excuse me, I was just throwing up in my mouth a little bit.
That's not good. Oh, so what a race that was to watch. Oh, I thought my YouTube just cut out for a second there, but it did not. We're back. Okay. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming along for tonight's Sector 1 sim racing event here at Watkins Glen here in lovely New York in the United States of America. I believe we have two more American races. Laguna Seca, which is that next week? I have a feeling it's next round 7, Laguna Seca. But yeah, and then we've got Road Atlanta, the sprint for round 9, I believe, is the final American race of the season.
I see a drop round in my future.
Not a fan of Road Atlanta?
There's only one American track that I think is worthwhile, and that's Laguna Seca. The rest of these can just quietly go jump in front of a bus.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, any more drive of the day submissions, guys, chuck them in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, click the like button and subscribe to the Sector 1 YouTube channel to not miss out on any of the racing action that we have seen over the first 6 rounds of the Sector 1 World Tour. Any last comments before we sign it off here tonight, Carbonboy?
Aside from thanking all of the viewers that tuned in and hit the like button, possibly even subscribed if they haven't already, thank you. It's people like you that makes it worthwhile for us to do this. It gives us a lot of pleasure to bring this kind of entertainment to you all.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we can't do this without the drivers, the teams, and most importantly, the audience that comes along every week to cheer on their favorite drivers and enjoy the awesome racing action that we have come to enjoy here at Sector 1. So thank you for everybody for your continued support of the stream and our drivers, and we look forward to seeing you here in the future. Coming up this Thursday is, of course, the community series. We'll have the Genesis cars out here once again in their awesome looking community supercars inspired liveries, where you can get in on the action if you would like. Just head across to our Discord and wait for the announcement and register to come along and race with us here at Sector 1. And after that, next Sunday, we have Group B. We're here again, a very similar track schedule on next Sunday. We have our Group B as Division 4 and Division 2 as battling it out for the top step on the podium, as always. So that's everything from me. Once again, Carbonboy, is that all? I'm going to take
That's
that
it for me,
as
mate.
a yes. And we'll sign it off here. Thanks for coming, everybody. That's Lenocis, Carbonboy, and CGK. Your three people in the comment box tonight's race. And thanks for coming. We'll catch you all this Thursday when we're back here again. So see you, everybody, and bye-bye.